Good job today, man. One at a time, and we'll get the job done. Y'all know what to say. On three. 1, 2, 3.
And the home of the Jets.
Well, I already made a mistake because we have a brand new intro that Romeo made for us, and I thought he uploaded it, and apparently he did it. Or maybe I just supposed to do it. It's a really cool intro, and now we're looking at the old one. So
It fits the circus that's back in town. So Tyson, how you doing?
Mr. Primetime, how are you?
I've been better.
I was so excited for this new intro, which is badass, and it's like I'm part of the problem. I become them now.
Hold on. Does this new intro include highlights, or is it like
bro, no. This intro is the best one we've ever had in the history of the show.
Hands down, fitting for a team that's currently 3-8 that doesn't really know how to conduct a GM.
No, we've turned the page.
Just making sure it checks all the right boxes.
Oh, it checked every box. I was so proud of it. I was so excited to reveal it. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, this isn't it. So I blew it. So what's up, everybody? Happy Thanksgiving to all of you and your families. The bye week, thank goodness. But with the bye week, there is never a dull moment with the New York Jets, as we're always making news prime time.
Never a dull moment this season. The ultimate soap opera. Thank you, Oscar.
So,
appreciate it.
A lot to discuss. Dominic, I want to touch on this first because Dominic's comment is bring back Rex already, man. Let's go get Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, maybe Derek Carr. Rex Ryan is desperately campaigning for this job. But here's a question I have for you, Primetime. A very simple question. When this season's over, there'll be 7 or 8 job openings, Jets included. Of all those job openings, how many of them will Rex Ryan be a candidate for?
Probably 0. Or actually, I should say 1 if we're going to include the Jets.
That's it.
Yeah.
Rex is a great guy. We love his passion, his pride, his energy. He did great things when he was here at the Jets. When he first got here, he left in an ugly scenario. It wasn't pretty when he left. But the comment that I get a lot is, bro, he's a fan. He's the only one that wants the job. That's just not true. He's the only one available right now that can actively campaign for the job because everybody else is actually employed. So we have to let the dust settle, let this season end, and see what candidates appear. But the whole Rex Ryan thing to me, dude, is just, it's a cute story. It's funny to see his passion, but it's not the answer for me, dude, at all.
At least it would be entertaining if they lost. He's somebody that at least the fans could relate to. When he was here, you stuck your chest out. He made you proud to be a Jet fan. I don't think we've had a head coach since then that the fans have really could relate to. So from that perspective, yeah, he would check a couple boxes, but we all remember how his tenure ended. Clearly time caught up with him. Didn't succeed after the Jets with the Bills either. I don't really think this is the answer, but again, it would be exciting. It would be somebody that you could at least be proud to root for. I don't think it's the worst option, but certainly I think our standards should be a little bit higher.
Yeah, especially when you have a guy here, like we don't even have a general manager yet. How about we just have a general manager? Let them decide who we want. Let's not like, all right, you have to inherit Rex Ryan. We've already made these mistakes before. So
down this road, absolutely.
Nothing happened to Tyrone. Tyrone just vanished, man. There's no conspiracy theory here. He went on to do his own thing, and I never heard back from him.
We should do like a holiday reunion.
Yeah.
Back together.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him at all, dude. Like nothing. He just kind of went MIA on us. So the Rex Ryan thing to me makes no sense, dude. It's just like, let's get all the pieces in place. Get your general manager. If you want to get director of football operations, cool. Let them decide who we get. Today they made some news, which I completely expected, was they hired somebody. Now everybody's like, are they going to get Corn and Ferry? Last time they used Charlie Casserly. This time, because every 4 years we're doing this, is the 33rd team with Mike Tannenbaum, Rick Spielman. Our takes on this are completely different. I made a video on this, but for some reason it gets getting deleted by YouTube. I have no idea why. But let's share your thoughts, and then we'll share mine.
I mean, only the Jets are going to hire a GM that they fired to now lead their search into the future. I said it on the title of my video. It couldn't be any more clear. You thought this guy was trash 12 years ago. Let's also remember the one accomplishment, the teams that he built that succeeded under Rex. For years after he got fired, what did everybody say? Those are Eric Mangini's teams. Who did Tannenbaum draft after Eric Mangini left? Nobody. So now we're trusting him and his company and their data analysis to feed all this information to Woody Johnson. And now he's going to land on the right GM candidate, who's then going to land on the right head coach. Good luck.
See, to me, it's like I'd rather have a group of NFL executives, not just these two guys, Spielman and Tannenbaum and whoever else in the little thing, to reach out to all their network that they have. Because right now, Woody Johnson has no network. Nobody likes Woody Johnson, and he has no contacts other than Mangini and Rex. So if these guys can open the door to upper opportunities, maybe sell a vision that Woody Johnson obviously can't do, to me, it's more like football guys being a part of football decisions as opposed to two incompetent owners and Chris Johnson and Woody Johnson. But to me, it's like it's a opening up the door. But the problem remains. You can open the door, bring in candidates. Who's making the final decision? Who's identified what's needed for this team? And that's still Woody Johnson. So they could say, hey, here's 5 great candidates. Peyton Manning may call Woody Johnson, God knows whoever. But like the thing is, like they can help. They can maybe open up some opportunities.
But Tyson, why are any of those top candidates going to want to come here with all the stuff that came out this past week? What legitimate GM candidate is going to put their reputation on the line with Woody Johnson, knowing his history for his reputation for meddling, which has all been revealed this week with all the stories?
Yeah, if you believe all of them.
It seems pretty obvious to me when Jeff Ulbrich can't explain why Tony Adams gets benched that had to do with Woody Johnson. He had no explanation for that. So who the fuck else?
I'd like to know why Tony Adams is getting picked on when he's the least of all the Jets' problems. You have Kinlaw, you have Clemens, you have all these guys making endless mistakes, and they pick on Tony Adams of all the guys. Like I don't know. That
just goes to show you it was a rash decision made by Woody Johnson, probably based off some tweet that he read, because that's what he does. He reads social media and then he makes decisions.
Yeah, to me, it's
I absolutely buy that.
I don't
think he had anything to do with benching Rodgers, but everything else in that article seems pretty fucking legit because we've speculated it for long enough.
Yeah, I maybe believe half of it. I think that now that there's nobody in the building to defend anything because everybody's gone. Salah's gone, Douglas is gone, Hogan's gone, Alexander's gone. Now it's like bury the Jets. Nobody's here to respond to it. Ulbricht's gonna take all the bullets. He just stands there and looks like a donkey. But I'd rather have at least a 33rd team involved to help at least because, like, dude, there's gonna be candidates involved. You have to have some football people involved in this.
What data could they possibly provide that's going to take into equate like what Woody Johnson's going to do as far as being a meddling owner, a first-time GM in this market?
But
like,
there's two parts.
Have some thick skin to operate in this market.
There's two parts of this though.
Bullshit.
But Tannenbaum worked here already, so these guys have to talk to Woody Johnson. Say, listen, this is how you're running your business now. It's not working. And Woody Johnson, as much as we hate him, has to be smart to realize that your meddling has now been exposed all over the social media. Everybody knows about it now. So if you want to attract any kind of candidates, you have to legitimately back off and either hire a director of ops or say, this is your team. Because according to most sources, Joe Douglas had that autonomy for the last 3 years until this year when shit started hitting the fan. He's like, you know what? And he should have
It started with the Rodgers move. And ultimately, again, like if you're going to have these guys in positions of authority, let them make football moves.
This is my
oversteps that it gives these guys a pass in my eyes. They were absolutely awful, but the fact that Woody Johnson meddled, to me, like they become the victims. We don't know what their plan would have been if it would have been Derek Carr, if it was Darnold or Zach Wilson. Like there's way too much influence from an owner that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
See, I'm kind of with John here. It says JD and Salah were awful. Then Woody meddled. We can't forget that. If anything, Woody should have been fired, one or both in January. And that's where I'm at, where we can make the case at the end of last season, they both should have been fired. But I think the only reason why they weren't was probably a promise to Aaron Rodgers, where continuity and stability, and we'll bring everybody back for you because we promised you that when we went to California.
But then he does it right before they're about to play for first place and completely derails the locker room without consulting anybody, without a pulse of the locker room, without consulting anybody else, without asking his GM. Just said, all right, I'm going to move on here.
I mean, I agree. I'm not defending Woody Johnson. I'm just saying, like, but Salah and Douglas are far from invincible. They completely they were a part of the problem too.
I'm trying very hard not to be a Salah apologist or a Joe Douglas apologist or even Rodgers. I mean, he's been terrible this year, but he's also a Hall of Fame quarterback that chose us. Let's remember all the cheeseheads that were burning and everything else. He chose to be here to try to take on this task.
He had no other option.
Turning this into a winning culture. And I think there are problems that are so much bigger than Rodgers, than Douglas, than Saleh. We're watching Geno and Darnold and even Bowles go on elsewhere and succeed, or at least have more success than they did here. So why is that? It's the shadow of Woody Johnson that fucks everything up.
I mean, Geno, but that's not. Geno having success in Seattle, nothing to do with the Jets. Sam Darnold went to how many other teams? The Panthers, the 49ers, and then he found success.
Yeah,
I mean, now we're saying this is.
And eventually he got coached up right. And now he's in the right system and he's doing well.
Well, eventually, the problem is initially hiring terrible coaches. That's the problem. Gase was terrible. Bowles had to go with Arians and learn how to be a quality coach and then figure it out with his second chance. And he's still conservative as hell, but he got the quarterback. Anybody can win with a quarterback. I'm not defending Woody Johnson, but Douglas and Saleh are far from like a net from all this. I mean, they're part of the problem too.
I just can't direct anger at them without knowing how many decisions were directly theirs.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I think they made plenty of decisions and they didn't work out. And sooner or later, you're like, you know what? This is a complete disaster. We've got to make changes. But they were out of loyalty to Rodgers. He's doing this. And I don't think Rodgers is innocent either. I'm sure Rodgers meddled as well. Do this, do that. He probably had Woody Johnson's ear. Got to do this, got to do that. He's not innocent either. He has nobody ratting him out right now, which will come. Because Mike Williams already started hinting towards it with his whole snake comment. Aaron Rodgers being quiet on purpose. His time's coming too, dude.
Well, that's going to be the biggest thing for me. Whoever the GM, next head coach is, like, to me, Rodgers' future, and I know some people have already written him off, but I think his future depends on the player exit interviews at the end of the year. Like the guys like that you do trust, like Garrett Wilson, maybe Tittman. I know he's a little bit younger, but whoever you're planning on building your future with, I want to hear what they have to say about what's been going on inside the locker room. Is it a guy that's truly just, driven by his ego, that's quit on the team, or is this a 40-year-old guy that's actually hurt and battling through injuries that they really do look up to?
But then, he's lost the locker room because they're not playing for him. They're not playing for Aaron Rodgers. My thing, this whole new injury thing to me is funny because now we're trying to be a sympathetic figure. He's trying to battle through injury. He's trying to fight through it. Here's an idea. The minute you got hurt, which is 3 or 4 weeks ago, you say you're hurt. We play a guy that, guess what, can actually play in Tyrod Taylor. You come back and don't derail our season in 4 or 5 games healthy and let's roll.
What was he supposed to do after losing last season?
Bro, I mean, that's his fucking problem.
He's battled through injuries before. He felt he could do it again. I'm not going to criticize him.
That's his ego.
But honestly, has the locker room quit on him, or have they quit on a meddling owner? Have they quit on a meddling owner?
Him. They don't. You know what? They don't believe in him because
you think so?
He's trying to hold
more on him than on Woody Johnson and all the details coming out about all the decisions that he's made.
Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be the leader and savior of this team. He was trying to hold guys accountable when he wasn't playing well himself. How many games in the fourth quarter he couldn't make a throw? Then when he wasn't making him, he was burying everybody. Oh, Mike Williams this, Mike Williams that.
He blamed himself too.
Bro.
He's blamed himself.
Yeah, he did. While he's blaming everybody else as well. He was supposed to be the leader.
We scream about accountability though, right?
Yeah, but he hasn't been good.
Mike Williams is supposed to be on the red line and he's not. Who's holding him accountable?
Okay, who's holding Aaron Rodgers accountable? Nobody in this team. The fact that he's playing injured and doesn't want to get scans is the most selfish, egotistical thing about Aaron Rodgers ever.
What else was he supposed to do?
Because wait. You know what he's supposed to do? Say, hey, you know what? Let's do what's best for the team. Tyrod, you're a very capable backup. You play. But you know what it is? Aaron Rodgers. No. Aaron Rodgers is coming off an injury and didn't want to come off like I came back too soon from my injury or my preparation and my therapy, my rehab wasn't as good as it's supposed to be. It's all about him. He didn't want to have back-to-back years being hurt. He's the healthy guy. He's a non-vaccine guy. All this shit, it's all about him, dude. He doesn't want to be hurt 2 years in a row. He's trying to prove everybody wrong at his age. And guess what? He's a liability, and he's hurting the team.
I think he still felt he could play at a high enough level.
But he wasn't.
To win some games.
And everybody was scared. They were scared to bench him.
It ended up being a complete disaster. Absolutely. But I'm not gonna be angry at him for trying to fight through injuries. The guy has been a winner almost every year he's been in this league.
So
he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, and we're going to act like he's the biggest problem when we know what the biggest problem is. The biggest problem is Woody Johnson. All the finger pointing at Rodgers, Saleh, Joe Douglas, to me, that's bullshit. It's just giving Woody Johnson what he wants. It's giving him multiple scapegoats, and you're giving him multiple shiny new toys to prop up this offseason and try to resell season tickets. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers. It's the only person I'm talking about. I don't care about Woody Johnson, the fans, the media, nothing. Aaron Rodgers, if these stories are true, was a selfish act. When you had a capable backup on a team, is it about winning or is it about your career? Is it about winning or trying to play? I want the best chance to win. This is so fucking similar to Brett Favre when Brett Favre was here. But the only similarity was Brett Favre actually played well as a Jet. Aaron Rodgers never did, minus 1 game. Brett Favre was playing very well, got hurt,
and they kept putting him in when he couldn't win games for them. The Jets keep putting Aaron Rodgers in. He can't step in any throws. He can't throw the ball further than 8 yards. That's his ego. And the fact this organization is a bunch of bitches that's scared to bench him because he's a holy king of the grail here. That's the problem.
Most great quarterbacks do have egos, though. Like in part, they're driven by ego.
If you can't play, if your teammates know you can't play and you keep trying to get back out there, you lose the locker room.
This is a guy that through much of his career has battled through injuries and played well through it. Now at 40 years old, coming off an ACL tear, clearly he can't do it. But like my anger still isn't directed at him.
My anger's the whole team. But everybody's trying to make Rodgers a sympathetic figure. He's not to me. He's part of the problem. If you're hurt, don't play. You're not bigger than the team because we have Tyrod Taylor. If it was Zach Wilson, all right. Jordan Travis, fine. You have a guy that can win games. The Jets were losing close games. The difference is make a throw in the fourth quarter, make a pass more than 10 yards. But now he's finally healthy. You're 3-8 now. But it's him.
Let's remember that. Let's also remember that 3 games should have been won if they had a fucking field goal kicker.
Well, yeah, they had a general manager that wasn't sleeping.
Close out the Patriots and 2 weeks ago. Those are another 2 games. I mean,
no, dude, there's
a lot of blame to go around with this thing.
Prime time. We talked about cutting Zerline after 2 weeks. We were on it. I had concerns in the preseason. We talked about it every week. This is a problem. No, it's not a problem. They watch. It's like the incompetence goes from Woody Johnson all the way down. But I'm not letting Aaron Rodgers out of this. Can I be like, well, you know what? He's been hurt. His next 6 games are an addition, so we could bring him back next year. What?
I just completely disagree about why the locker room probably quit. I think that once you overstep the GM and you don't have a pulse of the locker room and you make a decision like that's that consequential, firing the head coach right before you're about to go play for first place. And again, I'm not saying Saleh was the answer. He had plenty of faults. But once you do that and then you see the drop-off on the defense over the next 8 weeks.
But it goes back further than that.
Too thin. There are so many problems that I think, so many extra problems that they created by firing Saleh the way they did. And I think it rubbed off on the players. And I think that's why you're seeing business decisions right now.
No, but I think it goes back to the offseason. When you knew Nate Hackett was a terrible coach, when the players were telling you Keith Carter is not a good coach, when you knew all these things, then you go out and try to hire somebody like an Arthur Smith to come in and be like a consultant, like another chef in the kitchen, and you don't do it. That right there is you're admitting problems, but you're scared to address them. Why are you scared to address them? Because Aaron Rodgers is here. They didn't want to fire Hackett. They literally did not want to fire Hackett. And the players know, dude. They knew this system was going to work, and they thought, okay, they said, you know what? We don't believe in any of these coaches, but Aaron Rodgers will be the ultimate deodorant and will play better, and he's gonna cover up all this poor coaching. And then a couple weeks in, you're like, you know what? Even he can't do it because his coaching staff sucks.
Let's also remember why Hackett was hired.
Bro, but that's
Saleh never wanted to get rid of LaFleur. And that's why, again, it's so hard for me to direct blame, because if Saleh really wanted to keep LaFleur, didn't want to hire Hackett was only hired because it was going to get you Rodgers, somebody that it's well known Joe Douglas and apparently Saleh didn't want. They wanted to go Carr. Like, how do you blame all this on them for it blowing up when a lot of the key decisions they didn't even get to make?
Yeah, I blame them all, dude. I think it's like a rudderless ship where when you see things, they're always worried about. To me, like, I think they had like promises to Rodgers where they couldn't do certain things like continuity, stability, whatever else. Yeah. But it's like they're scared to do the thing that we see. Like, how long have we been following this team? We saw red flags with Gase. We saw red flags with 2 years in with Saleh. We knew he was a problem. Like, yeah, dude, this guy, it's not going to work. And you see it. But the Jets are always scared to make the move. They're never proactive. They're reactive. Woody Johnson this year, reactive and made a mess of it. And now it's like, okay, now we got to reset. So now you have to sell this team that the owner is not going to be part of the problem. Where he's like, it's like the whole James Dolan thing with the Knicks. Yeah. Like the Knicks scenario is exactly like the Jets because the Knicks suck forever. I stopped watching them. They were so bad. I was tired of like all of them, dude. Phil Jackson. I was like, I can't take any more of it. That's where I'm at with the Jets right now, where I'm like, you know what? I genuinely don't care anymore because nothing is changing. Unless Woody Johnson has a chance to redeem himself this offseason, and this is his first step where now the 33rd team has got to be the ultimate salesman. Like, listen, I worked in New York before. I know what it's like. Here's your opportunity. Here's what we're going to do. And kind of tell Woody Johnson, you've got to get out of the mix, man. You've got to find this director of football ops, whoever it is. Make it Mangini for all I care. I don't care who it is. But I'm not saying general manager, but if you want to make somebody like an overseer of it, but a football person, I'm cool with it, dude.
I just go back to the original question. I mean, who's going to trust Woody Johnson at this point?
That's the
with
ultimate
everything
question.
that's been leaked over the past 2 weeks, with Joe Douglas's reputation when he arrived.
Look at
6 months
James
or
Dolan's
6 years
reputation
ago.
with the Knicks.
Think about it, though.
Money
Think
talks.
about it. Part of winning organizations. He was, supposed to be the next great GM. Everyone loved him, and now 6 years later, he's leaving here, and he's a laughingstock, and everyone's blaming him for all the mistakes.
But see the thing.
And again, I'm not saying he didn't have his faults.
Joe Douglas wasn't good. Like, that's the funny thing. This is the funny thing about social media right now. Everybody's telling me who the next slam dunk person is. Let's rewind back to when Joe Douglas was first hired. It was a slam dunk hire, a great football person. And you watch the moves he's made before Woody started meddling. How many misses did he have? Becton, Zach Wilson. He hired the coach. Do you want to go through free agency? Do you want to go through his draft? Like, Joe Douglas for this great person, but now let's bring up the next great person. Like, everybody acts like they know what the next general manager is. We have no fucking idea what we're hiring every time.
But that's also why I can't get excited.
What was Mike McCagnon? Mike McCagnon, great scout, man. He knows football guys. He can draft great. McCagnon's the guy.
But that's also why I can't get excited for whoever the next GM hire is going to be. It's going to be somebody with a similar reputation as Joe Douglas. It's got to be prove it mode. Like
yeah,
there's
but
nobody
to me, I'm more concerned,
especially a guy that's a first time GM.
I'm more concerned about. I think they're going to get. I think they're going to get like an experienced GM. The concern is the coach. That's where the coaching staff is where it's going to start and end every time. You have to have a culture. You have to have a program. You have to have a guy that doesn't give a fuck about the media or the fans. His way or the highway. And if you don't follow that way, you're out. But they're like, can they find that guy? Like, the one guy I love is Aaron Glenn. I love Aaron Glenn. I don't want him to come here. I don't want the Jets to ruin him. Like, that's where I'm at. Like, and Vrabel's not going to come here.
I still don't even think a first-time head coach can survive here.
Nope.
It's just it's too toxic. There's too much that you have to revamp from a losing culture. There's too much to change. Like, too much media involvement. Like, it's total chaos. I don't think any first-time head coach really knows what they're getting into.
Nope.
Like I said last week, like this market spit up a Hall of Fame quarterback like it was nothing.
Yeah, well, that's because he didn't play well. If he would have played better, it wouldn't have spit him out. But to me, it's like Belichick's not coming here. I have a funny feeling Vrabel is close to Belichick. If Belichick's not coming here, I have a funny feeling Vrabel's not coming here either. Plus, he's probably gonna get better job opportunities. Brian Flores is a Belichick guy too. Does that matter? I don't know. But like, you look at all the veteran guys out there. Apparently, Jets are not interested in Gruden. I'm not how sure that true it is, but it's like you're wiping out all these guys. So now you got to hope that one of these coaches, like a Shanahan or McVay or something like that, gets fired. And then I just give up. I give up draft picks for that. I wouldn't even care.
I would do that in a heartbeat, but it's not going to happen. So
I don't think Rex is going to be our only option, and I think that's my last option. Of every head coaching list you gave me, he's my last option. I just don't think he's.
I would probably take Rex over a first-time head coach.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I just don't think Rex is a rebuild guy.
I think the fact that he's familiar with the market a little bit, he'd be inheriting a team, not being required to build a team. Like, if you're hiring Rex, you're probably not completely starting over. You're trying to let him inherit this team for another year or two. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Yep.
I don't trust first-time head coaches. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either. I mean, I think it's pretty established what the Jets need. Brian Dable, I'm going to pass on him as well because he's falling apart with the Giants. You know what, though? If you want to give me Rex Ryan head coach, Brian Dable offensive coordinator, and like Wink Martindale as a defensive coordinator, I could play these games with you if you want.
I wouldn't mind that. Interesting tandem.
I like Louis Riddick, but apparently he hates the Jets. So
who doesn't?
That's just true.
And that's the problem. Like, whoever we hire, we're going to be talked into it. It's going to be the Malachi Corley of GMs. It was the top guy on our board.
The GM thing I'm done with. Like, I'm not going to believe a word anybody tells me now because it's just like, well, the assistant GM of the Chiefs, great, wonderful. He's got to come here and actually prove it. And like, to me, it's like, I'm not going to like football guy, great experience, cool. No idea what he is. We don't know who he is because every time we hire somebody, it's the best thing they ever had. They're like GM of the year, like McCagnon, Joe Douglas, GM of the year. And then the next 4 years, it's a nightmare and they get fired.
Let's remember, Tannenbaum was a cap guy too. He wasn't even a scouting guy.
He had some good moments. I mean, he had a lot of success though. He did.
Yeah, but teams that most Jet fans agreed were largely built with Eric Mangini, right? Once Mangini left,
at least they worked in tandem. But they worked in tandem to do that. So I mean, at least because Rex was.
Once Mangini left, though, the drafts kind of speak for himself. So
yeah, Pete Carroll, I don't think is going to leave his cushy job on the West Coast to come to the East Coast, the team that fired him after 1 year. So, I mean, it's a tough spot, dude. So for me, like, you guys can throw the GM names out you want. Wonderful. I don't. It doesn't. None of them faze me. It's just about getting a guy that's established and who he's going to bring in as his head coach. But this is going to be going on for another what? We got another 6 weeks, 6 games left, and now it's just going to be more leaks, more rumors, more stories. The Jets never defend themselves. I would like to see Woody Johnson come out of hiding and actually come meet the media. Like, all right, dude, you've made all these moves, all this speculation. Address something, dude. You just hired a 33rd team. Tell us what you're looking for. What's your vision? You fired Joe Douglas. Come out from that. A lot of things you about Rodgers. Like, you can do all the when things are going good, he's talking all this shit. And now it's like things are hot. Now he was back in hiding. Come out, meet the media. Why not? Joe Douglas didn't do it. You got to do it. You're the GM.
I honestly thought that was like a fake Adam Schefter account when I read that tweet.
Oh, I knew it was coming. I knew it. I'm like, he doesn't have any, like, Woody needs to go back to only guys he's worked with, because who else is going to work with him right now? It didn't surprise me at all, man. And I like Flores. I think Flores, he's an excellent defensive coach. See, for the people that want to bang the door down for Rex, give him another chance. Flores needs a second chance too. Like, he look what he's doing with the Vikings right now.
Who?
Oh, come on, dude.
Flores.
So now then the Rex is a slam dunk then, because he won 4 games with a great defense, a great running game.
I'm just saying.
Look what Flores is doing now, though, man.
If you're trying to sell me on a retread head coach that hasn't done it before, and in spite of whatever positives you want to throw out there about him, for me, it's just a no. That's where I'm at.
So you want no retread. So Flores is out, Vrabel's out.
If they don't have a history of winning, like Vrabel, how many times has he been in the playoffs? Like 5 times? Won the division? I mean,
Flores won. He won in Miami.
He never won a playoff game. I don't even think he went to the playoffs. Didn't he collapse like the first year he was there when he actually had a winner? I don't even think he made the playoffs in Miami. All
right, so now Flores is that. So now you want Vrabel, who's not going to come in.
I don't think he made the playoffs, and if he did, he definitely didn't win a playoff game.
I like Todd Monken, to be honest with you. I like that. They should have hired him the first time he was here.
I don't mind Monken.
Rex did have a second shot. Yeah, that's right. He bombed out in Buffalo.
Beat us still.
The one thing is, we were there for that. The one thing about Tannenbaum, he does have ties to Parcells, so you're wondering if he'll be part of the mix of the 33rd team and use as any kind of consultant. That would be the first question I would ask them is like, hey, listen, Parcells and Tannenbaum were close for a long period of time. Are there any ties there? Does he have any insight? Which would be a great question to ask them. Stefanski, he's got to be fired. I mean, I like Stefanski. A lot of Browns fans don't like him now.
Are we going back down the path of hiring a guy that just got fired, like Gase?
Dude, Shanahan or McVay, I'm done. 1,000%.
Shanahan's a little different.
I would do that. Dude, I would trade for them now. I wouldn't even care.
But would they even want to come here? Probably not.
No, that's the kind of position where you got to trade from. You got to offer up a couple first-round picks, a ton of money, and full power. Here you go. Here's the organization. Take it. And I would do that. You have to. This is so similar to Sean Payton. Like, that's what I would do. Like, what they did for Sean Payton, the Jets should have did. That's the move.
Well, that's the problem. We missed our opportunity. They had it with Payton. They had it with Harbaugh. Each of the last 2 years, that was their chance, and they blew it. Those guys don't grow on trees. They don't come around often.
And we're not interested.
Chance, you blew it. So now you're looking at another 3 to 4 years. We'll be right back in the same spot, hiring another firm to hire the next GM, to pair with the next coach, to draft the next quarterback. We'll be taken for Archie Manning. Just we know what's in store for the next 3 to 4 years.
So prime time. This time next week, are you going to have a light?
Yes.
All right. Will you have a light for the stream on Sunday?
Yes.
Wow. Making moves.
Saturday. That's my goal.
Did you have the second date?
I did. Went well. Very well.
When was it? We didn't get no details? That should be. Wait, hold on. Why did we talk about this useless team? This is a bigger story. We need to know about this.
No, it was good. We went out, had some appetizers, some drinks, some desserts.
You're blushing. Oh, you're in love. I can see it. I can see it. You have the glow in your eye now. I can see it. You look at the smile on your face too. Oh, this is love now. This is it. When's the third?
You're gonna get me in trouble.
When's the third date?
Not sure yet because I go back to work this week. So
yeah, but that's fine. But is it on the table though?
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a third.
Is there gonna be a date breakdown video? Bring like the time, the date, how it went, like the.
I'll see.
Come on, man. So do you think you have the third date by the stream on Sunday?
I mean, with Thanksgiving right in between, I'm not sure.
That's true. That's a tough spot right there.
Yeah.
But then you have Friday and Saturday. It's a good time. Everybody's out and about and a good time, right? To Thanksgiving. It's a good third date.
Black Friday. I'm working Saturday.
Oh, man, you got more excuses. You got to find time for love, dude. You can't let it wait in the wind. Tough world out there. If you're snoozing, somebody else will be knocking on the door. You can't don't let it get out.
Trying here. Tough
world. Apparently, she watches the channel.
She does. Yes.
Oh Christ, that's not good.
So behave in the chat.
Does she? What days does she watch? I'll try to behave on those days.
Mondays.
Oh, fuck. What was that? My apologies, Miss Third Date. Is it Cassandra?
No. Me and Cassandra are fighting for last place in fantasy right now.
You know what? You're actually right. Primetime is making adjustments after the first 2 dates. He's taking a hard look into the first 2 dates to see how he can improve the third date. That's a good idea, Primetime.
Still watching the tape?
Yes. How'd you guys meet?
At a local bar, Morristown.
There you go. Now, does she like rum?
Not sure yet.
This is interesting now. We got to figure out how we can help you with this.
We've been going martinis.
There you go. All right. So third date's on the way. Second date adjustments. You got to adjust. You got to figure it out. Like you got to make sure the third date's like legit, like over the top date. We're like, all right, it's been 3 dates now. Let's kind of make this exclusive. We're going that way, right?
Whoa, that's a lot of pressure already.
Nah, I mean, third date. What are we doing here?
Trusting the process.
All right, Primetime. I'm done bothering you. We're gonna bring on our third host. As I'm gonna let you go because you're big day tomorrow. I don't want to bother you. Probably going on a date right now, you bastard.
No.
What's up, man?
What's up, Afram? Thank you, man.
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
What do you think about Kevin with his third date? Should he make it like?
Well, the fact that he had a second date means he hasn't been talking about his season tickets that he's been wasting year after year. So that's not part of the conversation. No, good for him.
But he shouldn't wait. You snooze, you lose, right? He's got to make that by Sunday. He's got to make it by Saturday night. You can't keep waiting.
Well,
listen.
First day back at work tomorrow, and then you got Thanksgiving, Black Friday. I have work Saturday, stream Sunday. Maybe after the stream Sunday.
I'm sure there's a third date going on.
He's probably I'm not sure. He looks a little uncertain right now. He's getting a little comfortable. He's sweating a little bit. You can see it.
No, I think he wants to go. I think he wants a third date. I guess he's going
about it slowly though. You can't wait though. You got to be aggressive. Like, did you give? So when the date was over, did you send her a follow-up text? Like, had a great time. Can't wait to see you again.
I got it.
Continue to chat. You continue to chat.
Yes,
that's good.
Are we invited to the wedding?
None of you are invited.
Is it going to be at MetLife Stadium?
In the parking lot.
I don't think she would allow that.
At a tailgate wedding.
Oh, dude, I would pay for this. I would pay for this. I would 1,000% pay for this.
I've been a part of one of those actually.
I would have. She called it. I would pay 1,000% for that.
Oh, the ratings would shoot up to the sky.
Oh, yeah, we'd be the highest one we had this year, easily.
Now you got me thinking a little bit.
Why?
Does she know that you only have one light in the house?
Yeah, she's aware. Yes, she's watched the stream, so yes, she's questioning.
Do we need to set up a GoFundMe to get you another bulb?
Yes.
Well, now that I'm back working, I can get a replacement light, so I'll be good.
He's running out of excuses now, Primetime. So now from now it's by Sunday we're gonna have lights again. So no more Lord of Darkness. It's gonna go away now.
Lord of Darkness.
Is she a Jet fan?
Giants, unfortunately.
For Christ's sakes, dude. What are we
That's
doing?
good. That's good. You want that opposite.
Does she want Dable fired?
I think so.
Oh, she's smart then.
She likes Rodgers though.
No, that's a strike. But I think everybody does at first until they realize what he is. All right, Primetime. Enjoy your night. Get a good night's sleep. We expect to see. By Sunday we want a date update and we want lights.
Yes.
I will do my best. Thank you, guys.
Later, dude.
Be good.
All right, Mr. Afram, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Talk to me about, because me and Primetime clearly don't agree. What are your thoughts? Because what are your thoughts on the 33rd team? What do you,
well,
to me, you want football guys making football decisions. We don't trust Woody Johnson. Is this a step in the right direction?
It is a step in the right direction. His choices, I don't know much about Spielman. All I saw that is he still with the Vikings? He's been there 10 years. So
he helped get the Commanders regime in their place now.
And I think he went with Tannenbaum because he has he thinks his best he'll have his best interest in hand since he worked for him at some point. Plus the fact that he's still in with football doing ESPN and all that.
Yep.
So but I would think it would just the only thing they should be concentrating on is a president of football operations, not even talk about a GM. Pick a guy who's going to run the entire team. And then once they pick that, then they leave and let him do whatever he has to do. But like you said, they have to tell him, you have to stay out of it now. Okay. And basically, you came to us for our opinion because you couldn't make that decision on your own.
100%.
Right? You came to us to make the decision for you. Then you're going to have to trust this guy, and you have to step back as far as possible and let them give him full autonomy to run this team, because it hasn't worked the way you've been doing it up till now.
Well, and that's what you figure once they hire them. I'm sure Tannenbaum, they have they have some insight what's going on with the Jets, but they say, okay, open the doors to your organization. Let us see what you're doing and how you're doing it, and let us share our insight with you. I think anybody with a mind right now realizes that Woody Johnson's meddling is blown up in his face, and now he's been exposed all over social media where everybody knows what he's doing. But now it's like the only way you can fix it is saying, I'm stepping back. That's the only way to save this.
They have to go to him and say, Woody, they know what's going on here.
Yep.
And you're not going to have anyone come in here knowing that if you stick your nose into everything that if you micromanage a thing, no one's coming here.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. You have a disarray of an organization, and you're going to need someone to fix it up and have some sort of structure going on.
I agree.
If you're going to interfere with that, then this whole exercise is a waste of time.
Yep.
That's the bottom line.
I completely agree with you. That's the starting point. Like, this to me is a step in the right direction, a very small step, because a lot of moves that we made, but you feel a little more comfortable that Woody Johnson at least admitting he needs help. And it's not Corn and Ferry. It's not some consulting. Like, he knows they have a relationship with Tannenbaum. He knows him. So it's like, at least there's already that established. Spielman's established. And you see what happens. Like, it's not going to be ideal. It's not going to be easy, because there's not all the people you want to help you are all employed right now. So you can't be like, I'm going to go talk to Veach or whoever. You can't. So you got to do what you can now for the time being.
I'm hoping that Woody actually has it in his mind that, hey, I can't do it on my own, because quite frankly, I think everyone knows who I am, and
he's been exposed.
And no one's going to come to me. I can't interview anybody because no one's going to want to come to me. If I have some legitimate guys doing this with some respectability in the league, I have a chance. I hope he's thinking like that.
No, I think he's realizing it, because right now he's like, people are canceling season tickets at a record pace. You can't market your team. Nobody believes in you, and you're not. Now it's like your record's embarrassing enough. But now he's an owner's being thoroughly embarrassed, where he's like, I need to, like, now it's full damage control. How do I get myself out of this mess? Today, I think, was a first decent step in that direction. But I mean, and
all the news has been negative. All the news has been negative. All the news. There's nothing positive coming out of this team for a long time.
And this is Dante's question. Do you think these consultants organizations will actually have the balls to tell Woody or Chris to step off? I think they do. Because when you're not like a legitimate employee of the Jets. Like, Woody Johnson is hiring you, say, okay, your office is next to mine. You're an outside organization. Like, listen, this is what we think is in your best interest. Take that.
They're going to leave it.
Yeah. Do what you want with that. If you don't want to take our advice, that's on you, Jack. But we're telling you what's wrong with your organization.
Yeah, basically, they're there for that one short period of time. Take it or leave it. They have after that, they're not going to get paid throughout the season. This is it. This is what we're presenting to you. This is the circumstances that are happening. It's you're the main cause of this problem. Not put it in that sense, but you need to step back. You need to have someone who runs a football organization, who knows football 100%. That's the only way. You're going to have to do it like every other team in the league does.
Yep. Would you rather be in the Giants situation or the Jets situation?
I would have to say several weeks when I was seeing that defense really solid playing, that there was some uptick with that team. At least you have a defense. But these last few games, seems like they also quit. They got with that defense. You got Brian Burns not doing anything, and they just leave it. It was really.
I think the one thing about the Giants is that their owner doesn't have a reputation of being meddling. They're usually like a class organization. Also, they're going to have a higher pick than the Jets, most likely, too. So you have that where it's probably a more marketable job based on the organization, the reputation of the organization, a higher draft pick. I mean, you have neighbors. You have Andrew Thomas.
Exactly.
You have Thomas Lawrence. They have some players.
Mara has never shown that he's a meddler. So
Not
there's
like
that,
this nonsense.
you know.
Yep.
And he has shown that he wants to win and he wants to have a good team. Whereas this guy has, we know, yeah, he's just he's got to wake up. He's got to wake up. He's got to wake up and understand.
All right, let's go to some callers. Share your thoughts, Mr. Luca. What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
There he is.
All is well. Yes. What's up, Afram and Tyson? But just looking at the reports today, there's some people that were surprised that Woody went to an outside firm. I agree with Tyson. It's better than him hiring a GM or going to some consulting firm like Korn and Ferry. But overall, like, I'm kind of in a bind with who I want as head coach. GM, I'm looking at guys like John Dorsey and Ray Agnew, whose son is a scout with the Jets as well. And what I say when I'm confused about the head coach thing is, like, do I want somebody with experience or do you want somebody who's offensive minded? If you have a hybrid of both, the only guy you can look at is possibly like a Cliff Kingsbury. And there's also concern with Kingsbury that, this has been his offensive coordinator and, as a head coach, whereas offenses start out really hot, but eventually the league, whether it's college or the NFL, starts to adjust. Now, I would have John Dorsey, Cliff Kingsbury, and maybe a guy like Jim Leonard being the defensive coordinator as well. But in terms of the Rex stuff, I know people are like high on the Rex train and stuff. I'm not for it. Those memories were great. As somebody said it perfectly on Twitter, it's like going back to an old girlfriend you dated like 10 years ago and then calling her up 10 years later saying, hey, you want to date again just to remember the good old times? Yep. I just don't support that philosophy at all. So
I've done that.
But I'm just hoping like this organization takes a step in the right direction. I brought this to Afram up last week, and Afram said this wouldn't happen. I would agree. I'd be like, if I was Woody, I would kind of give a call to James Dolan and say, hey, you know what? What made you choose the right people, and what made you butt out of basketball? I mean,
it's obvious. It's obvious. It's the same situation. James Dolan couldn't sell tickets. Nobody wanted to come to New York play for the Knicks. They were losing endlessly. They were a rudderless ship, exactly like the Jets are now. And Dolan said, you know what? I've got to be hands off. It's not working. And he hired legitimate top-level basketball guys to run his organization. It's exactly what he did.
Exactly.
They're
and he stayed out of it.
He stayed out of it.
And he stayed out of it.
Yep.
Same thing with the Rangers. He stayed out of their ops. And the thing is, though, it's like I asked Afram also as last week as well. It's like, was this as bad as the Isaiah Thomas era? He said it was worse. But the thing is, the Knicks never had that long of a playoff drought. Their playoff drought was 2001 to 2011. That's 10 years. We had 14 years of a playoff drought. So go ahead, Afram.
So here's the difference you have to take into consideration.
Absolutely.
The Rangers hired Jim Sather.
Glenn Sather.
Glenn Sather. A proven commodity.
Yep.
Stanley Cups with the Oilers. All right. Isaiah Thomas was not proven. He was just a player.
Such a clown.
This is what you have to do is get someone who's proven to run the organization first. And that's when you're building block. You run the guy who really knows what he's doing. Everything else,
but he did it.
Will fall in place.
He did it in levels, though. James Dolan did it in levels, though. It was like operations. Then he had the general manager. Like, he overhauled that whole thing where, like, you have a little hierarchy of quality executives in the organization. The Jets need the same thing now.
Exactly, and he needs to get away from those two guys.
Ira Axelrod and Jaime Elhai, who's president.
Get away from the business guys.
Yep, I agree.
You're talking about football. Business should be what selling the tickets and running the administration part of it. Stay away from football. Don't get away. Tell them to stay. Don't whisper anything in my ear because I'm not going to listen to you. I got to listen to this guy who knows what he's talking about.
And somebody next to Woody Johnson's got to tell him, bro, get off of social media. Get off of social media. Delete it. Don't even tweet. Don't look at tweets. Just get off it.
Focus on Seattle.
Yeah, exactly. And I mentioned this last week as well. I said Buffalo Jet fan did a video. The Jets have like 46 people in ticket sales and game sales department. Meanwhile, they have like 6 analytics guys. It's flip-flop for the Ravens, a very successful organization. They have 40 people in analytics and game data.
Well, look what they did when they fired Hogan and Alexander. They didn't even replace them.
No.
Joe Douglas's staff wasn't even replaced. They promoted within, which means you're already short-staffed your front office.
Exactly. It just doesn't make sense. And my last point is you and Primetime were debating this earlier. My opinion, I know Woody Johnson meddled, but just because Woody Johnson sucks doesn't mean Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh, or Aaron Rodgers are any better. Aaron Rodgers is
No.
not exempt from this. He's a big part of the problem, in my opinion. He's not a leader. He asked for a lot of this. He asked for, I mean, you essentially hired Hackett before getting Rodgers, but that was the ultimate hint. He asked for Devontae Adams. He asked for Cobb and Lazard and those guys. Like, he's a part of the problem. He's not a leader. He basically calls out other guys, but and as you said, Tyson, with the whole injury thing, just when do you come to yourself? When do you come to a point where you say, you know what? Why am I sacrificing myself for a 3-win team? Have some humility and say, you know what? It's just not worth it. I'm battling all these injuries. We got a capable backup. You know what? Let me sit myself down. I have nothing left to prove this season.
Yep.
What do you have to prove with 3 wins?
Yeah.
Especially with a healthy Tyrod, dude. Like, if this is going on for 2 or 3 weeks when your season was still relevant, like, you know what? I want to be with my team, but our best chance to win is if I sit out for a couple of weeks, let Tyrod play. I'll come back down the stretch run, whatever else. To keep saying, you know what? I want to fight through this, but it's all ego, dude. It's because he was hurt last year. He doesn't want to be hurt this year because he has a documentary coming out in fucking December about the rehab and whatever else. It's all about him. It's not about the team. It's just not.
Yeah.
And listen, go ahead, Afram.
Also, like you said, they've mentioned when he does his press conferences, yeah, he blames himself, but that doesn't give him the right to own it, putting other players under the bus. You speak for yourself, you speak for yourself. You don't speak for any other player. If the other player wants to come out and say, I need to do better, that's fine. You don't speak to the other players. This guy missed this guy missed this.
And he sets the tone for the team.
Once you start throwing your teammates under the bus, what are they going to play for you for?
Bro, the Colts game, the first throw of the game, he misses them. Like, here we go again. Like, he misses those throws. Like, here it comes again. Like, his teammates feed off his energy. They feed off his play. They feed off what he's doing. And when he's a lifeless and he's unable to move out of the pocket and make the throws he normally makes, because, like, keep in mind, they were sold on this person, this superstar of Aaron Rodgers. You watch Hard Knocks. Oh, this is our guy. 8's our guy. All this stuff until the game started. Like, wait a minute. We saw the guy in training camp. Who the hell is this guy? This guy can't make any throws. He must be hurt. If he's hurt, why is he playing?
How many miscommunications does he have with receivers, including Devontae Adams in a single game? And last point, you guys were talking about Aaron Rodgers. Big Kevin said that, every great quarterback has an ego. The problem is Rodgers doesn't sniff the success of either Peyton or Eli Manning in the playoffs or Tom Brady. That's the issue.
Nope. You never heard somebody say that, Aaron Rodgers is the ultimate winner. You've never heard anybody ever say that.
No,
never.
That's the truth.
I'm wondering when he misses on these passes, does he look at the player and blame the receiver and not himself?
You got to look at his facial expression for that.
Yeah.
He'd be like this, or
I don't know. Lately, he just makes that face. That
he can't move his legs.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
So I'm wondering if he's because he doesn't talk to the receivers. He just goes and sits down, and it's true. So how much of that is it?
I think they probably know, dude. They're probably like, dude.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying is when he throws a bad pass, is he saying to himself, this guy's not running the route I told him to run, and maybe he's not knowing the right.
Well, he said he tried to explain it last week. He said a lot of times you take a chance. It's either this chance or that chance. He goes, sometimes you're the hero, sometimes you're the GOAT. He goes, this year I'm making a lot of wrong decisions. Because you see Devontae Adams getting visibly upset. Like, I'm wide open. Why am I not getting the ball?
A lot of guys are wide open. He's got happy feet behind that front line.
Because he can't move.
Exactly. So.
And he's well aware of that, not doing anything about it. But
Luca, thanks for calling in, man.
Thanks, guys. Have a happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
You as well. You and your brother. Say hi to your brother for me.
Absolutely.
All right. Am I the only one that's tired of his experiences on McAfee? I can't even watch that show anymore. Well, now you figure tomorrow's going to be a must-watch because now you've had the rumors of Woody Johnson wanting him benched. Does he want to play? How hurt is he? Does he want to sit out? Like, it's all like he's not going to tell the media this. He's going to tell McAfee all this story. So the shit's going to hit the fan tomorrow. Like, you can almost guarantee it.
He's getting paid a lot of money to do it too. So
$1 million a show, isn't it? Isn't that what it is?
Is it $1 million a show or $1 million for the whole season?
Whatever it is. But so Alice, I'm sorry. You asked when the Jets are playing. They're playing Sunday. This is the information you can't get nowhere else, Afram. This is what we provide. This team, man. And listen, if you're not going to cut him, you could just, if he's that hurt, just bench him. Put him on IR for the rest of the year. Who cares?
Yeah, might as well.
So, we
Yeah.
got a special. Would you? Okay, I'm going to give you the choice now. Would you like a solid conversation or would you like chaos?
Let's go chaos and come back to solid. Let's do it by.
What's up, man?
How's how you been? I've really been paying attention to this team because it's just been so bad. It's just a wreck. It's just a wreck and a disappointment. I've been more focused on other activities outside of watching football because I have to keep my sanity intact somehow.
So what have you been doing?
I've been getting involved in I've been getting involved in some activism.
Activism?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Do we dare ask Afram or no?
Go ahead.
Activism in what?
Puerto Rico.
Okay, good.
Okay, so I was it was before. I think it was it was about a week ago. A couple weeks ago, I went to a couple weeks ago. Let me finish.
I didn't say anything.
A couple weeks ago, I went to the launch of my sister's new PR activist group. It was pretty good. There was a launch party, a lot of talking. It ended with a punk band.
I like punk bands.
Are you doing it here or are you going there to do it?
2 of the 3 songs were in Spanish, so you wouldn't understand it. But they were pretty good.
Are you doing activism here or are you going to Puerto Rico to do it?
No, I do it in the city.
Oh, you go to the city. All right.
So I did that. Unfortunately, I've had to go to a couple of funerals. I lost my great aunt.
Sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that.
And then my cousin lost his other grandmother. So it's like, so I just came back from that one. So, although I did get to pick up a 6-pack from my other cousin because he owed me that. He owed me that from the Thursday night game.
There's always a silver lining someplace. Huh?
Yeah, no, it was the day up, like literally 5 minutes before the last good Jets game we watched this year, Jets Patriots Thursday night, and he bet me a cigar and a 6-pack that the Patriots would win. So I finally collected on the 6-pack.
So you haven't been around. So you haven't been on Jake's show either?
I've been on Jake's show, but not as much, not as frequently as I used to.
Damn. So now, what was the last Jet game you watched?
I think it was I think it was the one before the Colts game.
It's not too bad. He's only missed 4
Arizona?
games.
No, it was I missed Arizona. It was the one before that.
Jeez, you missed 2 games?
I watched I watched the second half of the Colts game. I mean, the second half of the Colts game because I missed the whole Arizona game. I missed the whole Arizona game, but that was the.
You didn't miss much.
No, you didn't.
No, that was that was the game. That was the day I was at that launch party, and it was. So
party.
Yeah, no, it was but on with organization stuff. I like this. I like they're hiring professionals who have credibility in the game.
Yep.
Obviously, also got having Tannenbaum, and he knows New York. He's operated in New York, so he understands the type of people that are going to thrive in this environment. Because let's be honest, we all know that you got to be special to be in New York. Not everybody is cut out, but you got to be a little bit on the crazy side for New
York. It's true. It's very true. You're very right.
Gotta have thick skin.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta have thick skin. You gotta be able to handle a lot of pressure. Not everyone's cut out for it. It's being a GM of Jacksonville is one thing. Being the GM of the media team representing the media capital of the world is completely different.
What was your 6-pack of?
It was just I just grabbed like 6 random beers from his fridge.
Oh, okay, there you go. Is there a coach that you wanted to coach the Jets?
Well, what I'm looking for here is because everyone has a different perspective on it. Because some people want the bright young offensive mind. Some people want the veteran retread. Like, I'm not looking for what I want. What I prioritize in the coaches, I'm more the veteran route, but I want the coach that kind of like a Bill Parcells type. Like, doesn't have to be the long-term answer, but the guy who sets a foundation of stability. Because we know that everyone knew that when you hired Parcells it was not going to be some long-term answer, but he laid a foundation that lasted for over a decade from 97.
So give me an example. Who would that guy be for you? Is it Vrabel? Is it Gruden?
Maybe I don't like. I think I would like Gruden, as long as you pair him with a competent GM, because I don't trust him around the handling roster decision. I don't trust him handling roster like decisions. Gruden is an interesting one. Obviously, I'm big on Vrabel. Rex, I'm like,
What about Bel? What about your buddy Belichick?
Come on,
That'd be the ultimate. Wouldn't that be the ultimate? That'd be the best thing ever.
Come on, we all
Be
know
on more often.
Come on,
He'd be on every day.
we all know hell will freeze over before that day comes to fruition.
Would you, if Belichick came to the Jets, would you actually support him, or do you that much you wouldn't?
That's a tough one, but
That's what we're here for. Tough questions.
I'd swallow my pride.
Of course you would. See, I'm proud of you, man.
But like I said, hell will freeze over before that day happens.
No, that's true.
But yeah, no, like I said, that's my philosophy with this. Like I said, because I don't think it's important for, like I said, the important thing for the Jets is to set the foundation of stability.
Yes, sir.
With this hires. It's not necessarily, so like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be the guy who's going to be here the next 10, 15 years.
5 good years.
Exactly. Like I said, just lay a foundation that from which we can, continue with. If it necessarily with a different coach, that's perfectly fine.
B-man, it's good seeing you again, man. I'm glad you're well. I'm glad you're doing activism now. That's really important. Aren't you impressed by that? He's a man of the people now. He's helping the community now.
Very proud of him.
Good to see you, man. Have a good night.
Peace.
See, now, I want to get credit for not hanging up on him because he didn't watch the last game. Do I get credit for that?
Okay. Absolutely.
I usually would have hung up on him.
No, but he had legitimate
we matured.
Excuse.
What's up, George?
What's up, guys? Ephraim, nice to meet you.
Same here.
You look you look depressed, man.
I'll be as negative as I can be as a German, because after this week, I have if 10% is true about Woody Johnson, he has to sell the team, or we will never be in a position to be good. Because have you seen the thing like he's coming in the helicopter and firing Joe Douglas off the train? Like, what the fuck is this? This is not even Jerry Jones does that, right? But maybe thinking is overrated. He's actually right, because after all what I read this week, I'm like, I was so negative about the Jets, and then today with all the Tannenbaum stuff, I'm like, I think it makes Rex come back. I think that's the move, to hire Rex back. I feel like that's like the.
Oh, they're not making Tannenbaum the general manager. They're just making.
I know, yeah, but that's like. It's probably his buddy to get him back, right?
No, but that can't be true. I think what they're doing is you're giving them a list of executives to help take over your organization to then find the head coach. If those executives say, hey, you know what? Maybe we should interview Rex, that's fine. But you can't be like, you know what? You've got to inherit Rex as the head coach. I just think he's not on anybody else's list. Nobody else wants him.
We can bring presidents back, so we can bring a head coach back, right? For the Jets, right? So,
president's your GM too, right?
Right. But
he's running the whole.
Yeah. But honestly, the more I think about it, I kind of want him back, because I don't want a rebuild again.
So tell me what you want Rex to be a part of your rebuild.
No. The thing I want is, me personally, because I can't take another rebuild. What makes us think they get it right this time? We tried everything, right? I don't think they get it right. So then
you give up and bring Rex back?
Honestly, yeah. It's kind of a give up move, but
why?
Okay, hear me out. Keep Rodgers for 1 year.
Jesus, what are we doing here? So wait, no, hold on. You can't just float that out there. We got to comment on this.
Yeah.
Why, based on what you saw this year, do you want to keep Rodgers next year when you have Tyrod Taylor already coming back, who could be your bridge quarterback?
Who you rather have played, Tyrod or Rodgers? Honestly, Tyrod.
Dude, I'd rather see Tyrod play now. What does Aaron Rodgers bring if he's hurt and get off the field?
I mean,
what is Rodgers? Because the team's lost faith in him, dude. He's not the player that we thought he was. So now miraculous is going to happen next year, and then if not, what, another lost year?
But
I don't know, man.
I would, because.
Afram, what do you think? Wait, hold on. Afram, what do you think? You want Rodgers back next year?
No.
Why? And why don't you want him back?
Because I just think the team doesn't respond to him, and it's over for him.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, George.
George,
now
you have to also look at with what Rex did. 2011 was his last good year.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, guys retiring or going free agency. How did he build that team after that with Tannenbaum? Didn't go too well. And got to keep in mind, when it was under Tannenbaum and him, it was a matter of getting 1 to 2 players to complement your existing team, right? Not 10 or 11 guys to build a team. This is where he lacks. He's a coach, but he has to have a
win now team.
A win now team.
But this is
he
where
can motivate.
But this is kind
Do
of.
you have a win now team? Do you have a win now team? Be honest.
I think so. I mean, at least we had by the beginning of the year, right? Everyone said we have a Super Bowl roster. We're one quarterback away. I mean, it didn't work out with Rodgers, granted, this year, right? But everyone said we had a Super Bowl roster. What happened? What changes next year? Okay, granted, we have some.
What changes next year? About 20 players.
But they're free. Okay, but it's not the core players, right?
Yes, it is.
But we have the receiver.
How's not the core players? DJ Reed's going to be gone. Reddick's going to be gone.
Okay,
Conklin's going to be gone.
We get Jermaine Johnson back, and we have Will McDonald. I think that's whatever. It's a good start. We can replace one corner, and let's say we keep Rodgers. We at least
one receiver. Devontae Adams is going to be gone.
Let's run it back 1 year and then break it up. What's the difference?
Why delay the inevitable when you know it's going to happen? The only reason why you do that is you say, you know what? We're going to bring them back for a great chance of Super Bowl. You're bringing them back to win 9 games. Why? Why bother? And then what? Then you're going to rebuild the following year. You're just delaying it. It's going to happen anyway.
But what do you do with the rebuild? You get rid of all the young guys. You may keep
not the young guys. You get rid of the dead weight. You have somebody come in and be like, listen, you're not playing to your contract. You're out. CJ Mosley, we love you. Unfortunately, go to a winning organization. It's not going to be here. You're out. Like, you just clean things up. Clemens gone. Kinlaw gone. Conklin gone. Like, you move them all out, but we've got to start over with a whole new scheme on both sides of the ball, with new players, with a new mindset, with new leadership and new accountability. You need new captains. That's what you need here.
So you want to go full rebuild?
Why not?
Yeah.
Is this team next year going to compete for a Super Bowl?
I mean, it's a fair question, but if you do the full,
the answer is no.
Yeah, but what makes you think? What makes you think they're going to be getting it right this time? After all,
you have no choice. But I'd rather take that shot than have another year of this bullshit where I know they're not going to win anything. To win 9 games next year means nothing to me. When I know the year after, we got to start all over again. Make next year that year. Start this. Let's own it. We suck. We blew it. It's a disaster. Next year we feel the pain for it, and then we what? We'll get at from.
Yeah. George, you just said what makes you think they're going to get it right this time? They didn't get it right this year, so why you want to repeat it the next year?
Exactly.
Because I feel like, personally, I felt like the roster is good enough to make the playoffs with the right coaches. Right, we would agree with that, right?
But the roster's not going to be the same, though. You have what? How many free agents do you have? They're going to be gone. Tyron Smith gone. Morgan Moses probably gone.
You also have to say new coaches, right? You bring in new coaches, they're going to change that whole team up. They're going to put players or bring in guys that they know. So you, in essence, you are rebuilding the team. Yep. If you're going to bring in veterans, okay, and if that's going to help, but in essence, you're still rebuilding the team with new players, because they're going to bring the guys they want in this. So in essence, you're not keeping the same team no matter what you want to do at that point.
Yeah. I'm not talking about keeping the exact same team, but
this was your 2-year window. Last year and this year was a window, dude. That was it. The window's shut. It's done.
But everyone that you mentioned, I feel like for 1 or 2 year maximizing the team, we can kind of replace, right? DJ Reed, I get it. couldn't replace him, or we can't replace him, so we need a new corner. But Conklin, we can get another tight end that's like whatever, the same. We have Olu at left tackle. At least we hope we have him. So let's let him play. Maybe we can resign Moses for right tackle one more year. So we have.
Why are you trying to find band-aids? I don't understand.
I just want to run it back with the same team with, let's say,
it's over. Why do you want to run it back for? What about this team? Dude, it's not going to be the same. It's just not. Like, am I missing something, Raph? Like,
I mean,
you're not running it back.
At the beginning of the year, we said that's the Super Bowl roster, and the players we actually have to replace are not the key players. It's not a Brees.
You have one. Yeah. Okay. I guess if you bring Rodgers back, you bring Devontae Adams back. That's what we're going to do.
Right.
So you bring Lazard back too because he had a good start to the year.
I mean, whatever. If this wide receiver 3 or 4.
So then you're bringing all these guys back. Tell me what new head coach wants to inherit all this.
That's what I'm saying.
Because it's not going to
years and see.
But because you're gonna force this guy to cater his offense to these players, not incorporate his offense. Like, wait, hold on. I gotta inherit Rodgers, Lazard, Devontae Adams, all these guys, but they don't run the scheme I want. Or I gotta inherit this defense that I don't want to use because I want one more year of this. Who's gonna want to do that?
Honestly, that's what I'm saying. Only Rex. I don't want anyone else.
So just because you want to bring Rodgers back, you bring Rex here. That's great for 1 year.
That's my fear, that Woody will bring Rodgers back anyway, right?
Why?
Because all the reports, right, that like Woody just wanted to bench him, and then they backtrack on the reports and like, oh, they actually have a good relationship. They went for dinner, blah blah blah. It makes me think he's going to bring him back anyway, because he doesn't want to lose the thing of, oh, Woody Johnson fired Aaron Rodgers. I brought him here to begin with, so I'll ride it out with him. That's my feeling I get. So that's why I think they're going to hire Rex to run it back 1 year and then maybe blow it up. I mean, I get your point, but
that's insane.
Yeah.
The minute you bring Aaron Rodgers back or let the world know he's coming back, you just wiped out half your candidates because nobody wants to inherit him. They don't. Right? Am I missing something? I'm like, why? Like, what you're trying to reset your entire organization. Why do you want to already hinder the process by inheriting people nobody wants? Nobody wants Aaron Rodgers. So why use him in that spot?
Why not cut him now? Why didn't?
That's the question we're waiting for.
Yeah,
dude, I was hoping Ulbrich said today, you know what? Through the bye week, Aaron Rodgers had a bunch of testing done. Unfortunately, he's banged up. We're going to put him on IR for now. Let him get healthy and see what happens. Boom. Right off into the sunset. But he doesn't want to do that because he was hurt last year and doesn't want that stigma tied to him. He ended his career hurt.
The only thing, and I spoke for a long time, so I want to give the other candidate, the other people to join too. But my last question, maybe for you two guys, what do you think about? And I just named them, right? Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald, whatever, Brees, Garrett, right? Sauce, for that matter. Mm-hmm. Aren't they, with better coaching, very good players? What makes you think if you get rid of all of them, except maybe Garrett, what makes you think we draft better players in the future? And to Woody's point, maybe he's an idiot, but that's one of the best rosters in the last 20 years. He's right about that, at least.
Well, now the problem you don't have to get rid of them, but the problem is these guys are all going to want to get paid. So you have a chance like Garrett Wilson has earned it. To me, after I'll let you answer too. To me, it's like I want to see how guys play when they're facing adversity and the shit hits the fan. For me, Sauce has been ridiculously disappointing. Jermaine Johnson, I think they missed a ton. Jermaine Johnson has the tenacity. He displayed the leadership and passion for the game.
Right.
Brees Hall. I mean, you saw Saquon Barkley playing the way he is, but a lot of times you don't want to pay a running back. You want to pay him when you got Brown Allen sitting there. So a lot of these guys, but they all want the mega contracts, and that's the problem. Have they earned that top of the position kind of money a year from now? That's the tough, right? Adam, what do you think?
Plus, your cap is not
well
right now either. So it's like anything. I'm assuming you work in the corporate world. When a new guy takes over the company, he's going to get rid of the guys he doesn't want, and he's going to bring the guys he wants in. Right? This happens all the time. You're never going to get a guy who's going to come in to run this team and keep everyone in there, because he's going to want to put guys that he knows he can trust, and he knows who will play for him. Rex did that when he brought in Bart Scott. He brought in a couple of Jim Leonard. Yeah, he brought guys he knows he can trust and who are leaders. You're going to get the same thing. So it's hard to keep guys together for a long period of time. Okay, with free agency, you have to build a core of young players and have good coaching. This is what we didn't have. And then at that point, if you can solidify a core, then you can get rid of piece by piece and replace them with a younger guy. and just do that cycle. But when you get rid of when you're going to lose 6 or 7 or 10 players, it's going to become a rebuild.
And the other thing too is like, as Jet fans, we're so defeated. And George, you're coming off like right now. It's like
I am.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, well, we know we can't draft well, so why go that route? At some point, we have to draft well. This is like, you look at the Rams last night. The Rams, even though they lost, like, look at their defensive line. Their draft picks from the last 2 years that are all big contributors. That's how, like, for Jets, we're always used to having bad drafts. I mean, Douglas had the one good one. We have to at some point figure out we're going to get a competent general manager that's actually going to draft well.
And
then somebody's and coaching. Like that's the X factor. The reason to bring somebody back is the fear of the unknown, or like, well, I'm not going to do that because I know we're going to bomb it. Maybe we're not. I'd rather take that chance of the unknown than going with the known. Rex to me is the known. He's not going to be a good coach here. He's not.
Earlier when you talked to Kevin before he went to probably his date and he didn't want to tell us, but you mentioned you would be open to get Rex back with like Brian Dable, right, and Wink Martindale.
Yeah, got all-star staff.
But who would you have as a quarterback in that scenario? Tyrod for a year or draft?
Why not? Yep, 100%. Tyrod's fine with me. I'm done with Aaron Rodgers, dude. I'm just done. I'm done with the experience. I think he's not a good leader. I think a lot of guys in the locker room look at him like, bro, you're not who you said you were. Because now his body language, his tone, and everything he's commanded of everybody is not what we thought. So I think, it's like you see like everybody's biting their tongue right now because he's Aaron Rodgers. I'm sure when the offseason's over, all the other stories will start coming out like, wow, he wasn't really this. He didn't do that. Like everybody, because people aren't reporting stories now because they're scared of him. Because if you burn Aaron Rodgers, he won't give you no more interviews. He won't give him like that. So nobody wants to say a bad word about him. I mean, Mike Williams did, but until this season's over, then you hear all the stories.
But this is why the Jets are not a serious organization, because if they don't want to bring him back, then let Tyrod play or let whoever play and figure it out if he's the quarterback next year. Now we don't know. And what if Rodgers, God forbid, right? If we don't want to have him back, is actually healthier during the bye week and actually plays well the last 6 games? Then I kind of want to bring him back anyway.
After, what do you think about that? Rodgers goes on a 6-game tear right now.
Yeah, probably win.
They go 9-8.
I don't know what you're smoking today, George, but I don't foresee it with this guy.
Yeah,
I just don't think the team responds.
I know Woody Johnson, for his love of Aaron Rodgers, probably begging for that. Like, please win 6 in a row, or win 4 out of the next 6. Play well. We could bring back some of these guys. He's hoping for that.
Yeah,
it can happen though.
Just wanted to vent. I needed to get it off me after.
We all do.
It's fun arguing
all the time.
It's fun arguing with you, man.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Be well. Peace.
Right. Yeah, and I'm just more hell bent on just the rebuild, dude. I am. I'm just over it. Like, rip the Band-Aid off, own the disaster, own the mess, start fresh with a new mindset, new regime, cut ties with Rodgers, and move on. That's it.
Exactly. And a good GM or player president of operations could determine who to keep and who to resign, and build around that core.
You don't leave it up to him, though. You don't leave it up to Rodgers. Like, oh, go think about it. Come back to us in February. But at the end of the season,
take care, Aaron.
But they have to have knowing you. You figure season's over in what, January, or hell it is. Once you're ready for the business season, the business league year for the Jets, he has to make a decision. Listen, we need to know by February 4th, you staying or going. That's it. Or we decide for you.
And this is the thing you got to also consider with Woody. If he was really serious, if you fired your head coach and your GM, there was no reason to keep Hackett. You should have fired him as well. He's sitting there doing absolutely nothing for you.
I agree.
All right. And if he does, that's when you determine, I'm getting rid of Hackett. I'm sorry, Aaron, but I'm getting rid of him. He's doing absolutely nothing for this team. If this guy quits on you, then you got your answer. You don't bring him back. End of story. Well, or you sit him and you put in a guy that wants to play.
This is the only thing that's most unfortunate right now is there's Jordan Travis can't play right now. Because if Jordan Travis was healthy, I'd be like, bro, play next week. I'd rather see him learn on the ropes and see what we have for the future. We know Tyrod's not the future. Aaron's not the future. Like, in a lost season, at least play a young kid that give us a glimpse of something.
Yeah, exactly. Some hope.
It's just, we have no hope. What's up, Costa?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing wonderful, man. How you doing?
Right there with you, man. I'm a Jets fan, so I'm miserable. I got a hot take for you guys. I think you would agree with me, Tyson.
Oh, I'm not for
I'm
this.
so tired of everybody saying, you know, they fired Saleh too quick, and that was the worst thing for the team because the team quit. Here's my hot take: if the players like Saleh so much, maybe they should have fucking played hard for him. I mean, it's
facts.
If you look back at the last game, the Viking game, they were down late in the fourth quarter, and Saleh and players in the sideline are fucking smiling. Like, he's not the answer. Ulbricht's not the answer. The season was over when they brought back the entire coaching staff. That's the issue.
Completely agree.
And I have no faith for next year as long as Woody's the owner, because I don't have faith in him for hiring the right guys because he doesn't fucking pay nobody. And honestly, like, you can call us a hot take too, but winning is not that fucking complicated. It's really not. Bring in the right coaching staff. Like, this team needs a leader that guys can actually feed into and someone who's proven it before,
Yeah.
And it's like, here's the problem. Like, this team there is so much talent on this team. Like, this team is a definition of talent when it doesn't work hard. Like, if this team was a fighter, like, this team reminds me a lot of like Adrian Broner. Guy's got a lot of talent, but never lived up to his potential because he just was concerned with stuff that wasn't about, the sport that they're in. And that's what I see with this team a lot. And there's really three things you need. You need to bring in a Parcells type of coach. You need that type of person. And I don't think there's one free agent in the world that's going to want to fucking come here. And which means you have to build through the draft. And I really don't think winning's that far away. If you get the right guy in here, you bring in players who want to fucking play, and you start with the offensive line. Because I'm telling you, you can be in every single game. If you have a stout offensive line, I'm not like you guys. I wasn't there for the Parcells year.
Yeah.
I was born in 02. I'm an 02er. But I was here when Rex was hired, and he, looking back on it, he won with the rookie quarterback. Why? Because of
offensive line was nasty. Yep.
And a running game. And
That was Joe Douglas's plan. I'm going to rebuild the offensive line.
Right.
And he bombed out on it.
He failed.
The other
Ryan
thing
Clear was his first move.
But the one thing that, to your point, though, is nobody wants to come here now because the Jets haven't made the playoffs in 14 years. They're a laughing stock. You change that if you hire a respected coach. Vrabel for example, if Vrabel comes here, like, you know what? Vrabel has some of his guys. Like, everybody has their own guy, right? He could bring some of his guys.
Man.
I that's my guy. I love him. Flores, I wouldn't mind. Like, just say for Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn's got his guys, where maybe some guys from the lines like everybody has it, but you have to have a respected coach. Everybody's like, well, all right,
absolutely.
The Jets are being serious now. They know what they're doing. That's a tough guy to find, man. So, but you do that, and winning helps too. But you're right. In this downtime where you're rebuilding, draft is crucial. Mid-tier, lower-tier free agents got to be producers too. You can't spend like $20 million. You get those $2 or $3 million guys that actually contribute and play well. Undrafted free agents. You got to find all those guys to rebuild your roster.
I think the best way you find that is through the draft, because you have young kids who are excited to be drafted in the NFL. So you kind of feel like you're going to, maximize their potential. And, here, Tyson, you know this the most pretty much out of anybody. What is the most important factor of any athlete or any type of fighter? It's the will to win, the desire to win. It's not the size, not the speed. 100%. It's a desire to win. Like, look at Sauce Gardner. Dude's got so much fucking talent. He's not even working on his technique. You know what I mean?
That's the most bothersome thing. Like, you watch, like, if the Jets were losing 31-30 and they were competing their asses off every week, you're like, all right, you're getting max effort. They're coming up short. Mm-hmm. You're not even getting that. And that's the most disappointing. And that's coming from young players, dude. Like, the veteran guys, like, it's like the young guys aren't doing it either.
Do you want to know why? Why? Because Sauce, he's been all pro 2 years. So he thinks he's accomplished. He's won all these games, and he hasn't. But that's the culture that was established here. When you have your fucking head coach who comes out and says, my job is to make these guys a lot of money. So go get your stats, and that's what it is. You've got to bring in a legit NFL coach to come in here, and the players who adapt and, play up to their standard, you keep them. The guys who don't, you get rid of them. Like, I don't care about the names anymore. Like, I just don't. Like, he's not even in the same fucking universe as Revis. So if you don't see a lot of improvement out of him in the offseason and all this, just trade him, and he can be a Jamal Adams 2.0. Just trade him and set it up for the future. Like, I'm telling you, man, like you have Braylon and Brees, okay? If Brees doesn't go with the program, get rid of him too. But you have a fucking big-ass running back. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking for ways to win. Start with the offensive line. You have Tyrod Taylor who can run the ball, and you have a fucking big-ass power back in Braylon Allen who's super young. Run the fucking football. Run the damn football. And bring in players who want to play. Like, everyone's talking about the 2022 draft class, Jermaine, Sauce, Brees, all the Garrett. The first guy I'm going to pay is Quincy Williams because that's the guy. That's the guy you want for your culture. No matter what happens, he plays his ass off every single game. He kind of it was like if you look at Revis, he wasn't really like vocal. Mm-mm. He spoke with how hard he played. Like that's tenacious. What you need. You need guys who come in here and who want to fucking play. Yep. So find those players and build around it. It's not that fucking complicated. Look at the Lions, dude. Like if the Lions can win, then we can do it too.
Look at the Commanders, the Texans. It's happening all across the NFL except with the Jets.
And again, as long as this guy owns it, I have no faith. But I think you can say that this is officially where the Jet fan base is at rock bottom. Yep. And I think you got to hope that the light bulb comes on and Woody's like, okay, getting Hall of Fame players doesn't sell tickets, winning sells tickets. So let me open up my pocket, get a legitimate NFL coach to come in here, and let's win. And if you don't get that, then fuck it. Bring back Rex, because if you can't find a legit NFL guy, I'm not gonna run it with some young offensive coordinator or whatever. If you know what, that's the same thing with Rex too. The only thing that has him on my radar is that he wants to fucking win and he wants to bring a championship here. And the difference between I'm not making a campaign to bring back Rex. He's my last option. Yep. But the difference between Rex and Saul that pisses me the fuck off the most. Look at Hard Knocks for both of those guys. Mm-hmm. When Rex talked shit, he meant it. He backed it up that year. They were 5 points away from the Super Bowl. Saleh, big pitbull on Hard Knocks. The minute they hit adversity, they fucking melt like cheese. Yep. And that's the same thing you see with these players. So
I agree.
It's not that far away. Just bring in a guy who can fucking coach, who has success, pay him the money, and bring in players who want to play. Because at least then you have a fun season, and you are an entire culture away from winning. So change the fucking culture, bring in guys who want to play, and just start fucking kicking ass and taking names. Do it. You got to stop the ass kissing and bring in a guy to fucking start the ass kicking. You see that fucking flag? Strike first, strike hard. That's what you fucking need. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying?
Call the week, Afram, right there. Thanks for calling, man.
Before I go.
Yes.
Tyson, yes. Afram, you guys are fucking beasts. And every fucking take that Tyson has, I 100% agree with. And if we can't find a GM, you know what? Make Afram the GM, and you make Tyson the fucking director of football operations. Because I was up there in Jersey with you that 1 year, and I trained with you. You're a fucking animal. So let's do this shit. Let's win some fucking games.
Strike first, strike hard.
He did. He came and trained me. That's right. I forgot about that. He came to my gym. He stopped in. I did some pad work with him and stuff.
And you didn't remember him till now?
Bro, I forgot about that.
Oh man.
But that's a great call, dude. That he is speaking nothing but facts, man.
Yeah.
That was a great call.
It's sad when the fans have more passion than the players.
Well, now I think Woody Johnson's starting to learn all this, because now you have a stadium that's going to be full of opposing teams' fans. You can't sell tickets. They're canceling for next year, and you're back to being a laughingstock again. You're literally the laughingstock in the NFL.
Yeah. When I was at the Colt game, my son's friend from high school, he's working for the Jets ticket organization. He says, "Man, every call is hell. People are just nasty to him constantly." They can't sell any season tickets. It's just
anything.
Yeah.
Would you want to go see the Jets play this Sunday on a holiday weekend when they're 3-8? No, it's be 35 degrees. Like, absolutely not. It's like I'd rather just eat glass. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me on. That was funny. That was a tough call to follow up. They made a lot of really good points. I always say it with this team. I think I said it last year. I mean, you guys say it all the time, but I just wish they could suck in silence. We always suck, but there's always got to be a report. We got to fire this guy, whatever. They can never just stink and nobody talk about us.
Nope.
We're still catching headlines for all the wrong reasons, even after a bye week. So that's where we're at.
And who causes that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who causes that?
Woody, our terrible owner.
Well, do you like the move today, getting the 33rd team, or no?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that they're gonna hire the right GM and head coach that's gonna lead this team to the next 10 years of success. But I mean, it's better than Woody, and that's where I'm at. Like, it's better than the other alternative of Woody doing it or Christopher, like Woody going over seas again and saying, "Hey, Christopher, hire him," so then he can have another quote of coaching to where football is going. They could take a call from Peyton Manning because you have no faith in Christopher to do that either. So, yeah, I mean, there are two guys. You know, Spielman actually helped the Commanders last year. Him and Bob Myers with the Warriors, they helped. Obviously, Adam Peters and Dan Quinn. I know they've lost 3 straight, but they've had a lot of success this season. They hit on the quarterback with Daniels. And obviously, Tannenbaum's got a lot of experience, of course, within the organization. And yeah, it's better than what it could be, whether it's Jaime or Woody or Christopher. I mean, what has Jaime done here for how long he's been here? He doesn't do anything. I mean, I don't even know if that guy even shows up to the building at all. I mean, he's like,
a finance guy. He's not a football guy. He's a finance guy.
No, yeah, exactly. That's what they all are. And that's the big thing. They're football people making football decisions. They're two guys, right? Spielman was with the Vikings for a while, of course. You had Tannenbaum with the Jets for a while. So it's the right move. They needed help. They got help. So hopefully it works. But
I mean, the whole goal was to use their Rolodex and use all the contacts they had to bring in a broad range of candidates to be interviewed and hopefully find legitimate GM that can turn this thing around or director of football ops.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. But at the end of the day, it comes down to Woody to interview them and hire them. That's it. They could be like, listen, we think this guy is very good. What do you think? Well, you know, I don't know. That's a good thing. He's going to make the decision. Yeah,
100%. And that's the whole thing. Like, you know, people might want to compare this to previous things the Jets have done, but like, you're actually hiring football people, and this isn't Corn and Ferry. I mean, they talked about maybe hiring Curtis Martin, but you wanted to bring a guy in that like had football connections, right? Within, you know, the commissioner circle, within the NFL world, that you can bring in, wide net, like you said, interview all these guys, hopefully hire the right GM, then hire the coach.
I mean, in theory, they tried that last time. They tried it with Douglas and Sal. They just hired the wrong guys.
Yeah.
Because remember the hierarchy used to be where the coach and general manager were on an equal level, and they reported up to Woody. Now it's like they changed the hierarchy, made that better. In theory, Joe Douglas had the power. He's made a lot of bad decisions, and now well, here we go again. So
he made the bad decisions, and Woody started to meddle. That's
because they swung big with Aaron Rodgers, and he panicked. You know what? I have a 2-year window with him, and like I spent all this money, I'm getting no return on my investment.
Yep. So that's caused the whole Devontae Adams trade to get over the goal line, the whole Reddick situation, the whole 1-year Band-Aid contracts with Mike Williams and Tyron Smith, when the report obviously said that, even the whole Reddick situation, but the whole report said too that Douglas wanted to give Huff the contract, and then
because they were
Woody vetoed it. And then I just can't picture, you know, I was going to ask you guys about this too. Like, I can't picture Woody Johnson going into Ulbricht's office and telling him to bench Tony Adams. That just doesn't seem real.
It doesn't. That's the only thing that seems weird.
I don't even know if Woody Johnson knows who Tony Adams is.
That's the only thing that seems weird to me. Is like why they're picking, like something with Tony Adams must have happened behind the scenes somewhere. He must have pissed on Woody's tire or said some shit. Like what could, like, of all the guys underperforming on the team, they pick on him. After like, seriously, you got Kinlaw, Clemens. Like he
must have walked by in the hall and told Woody, "You know jack shit about football."
He's like, nice change.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's gotta be something, dude. Like, why are they picking on him so much?
Yeah, Clemens has got 9 lives here. It's ridiculous. I don't know how he's still here. Every week, he does not contain his edge in the quarterback scores. Every week, it's like, and Ulbrich said he was getting better.
Was
it's
he
not
sick?
even worth talking about Ulbrich.
He's getting better. Was he ill? Because, but you know, it scares me, the fact that if he's still in the lineup in the front D line, how bad are the guys behind him?
Well, you know, but the thing is,
that's what I'm worried about.
The thing is, I'd like to find out, because you're 3-8.
Oh yeah,
all those undrafted guys that made the team, I'd play every friggin' one of them. Let's see what we have. Like now, but the problem is, your general manager Phil Savage is not going to be here next year. So it's like, who's even evaluating these guys? Like I play Stiggers, I play everybody, dude. All the young guys. Let's see what we have, because the season's over. But they won't do that because you got Rodgers still playing and everything else. Full youth movement, dude. Evaluation time.
Yeah. And to your point about Rodgers, I totally agree. And I know we talked about this the last couple of weeks, but there's no chance I'm bringing him back. No way. I just can't do it. It is literally the definition of insanity. He's going to be another year older. The Jets fans got to stop dwelling in the past. Let's be honest here. Rodgers, his last year in Green Bay, was not very good. He struggled. We all put it up to, he had the thumb injury that year. Then he tore his Achilles last year. And now he's really 3 years removed from legitimately having like a dominant season. He's not the same player he once was. You got to get a head start. You're just delaying the inevitable. So they're going to go 9-8 next year.
Well, it's also
maybe make the wild card.
But also right now, in theory, he's the face of your franchise, and you're making another regime inherit him, which is not a positive thing. Like, it's like an albatross. Like, why do I want to deal with him? I don't want to deal with him. Now, if you have Tyrod's making what, $8 million a year, but all right, he's a bridge guy. He's a guy that we can maybe have an offense, but you can go out and get somebody else if you want to, whoever you want, and draft a kid. Like, all right, all three of you guys compete with Jordan Travis, move on.
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor and Aaron Rodgers are like apples and oranges, dude. Like, that's to have somebody inherit that personality, that's no thank you.
Exactly. And like you always say, like, what coach is going to want to come here? I don't view many guys wanting to come here. Also, coach in his first year, all the hype and the media attention, all going to be on the Jets. Like, you can just avoid all that by putting Tyrod out there, letting him compete with Travis. Heck, if Tyrod starts the year, struggles a little bit, or heck, Travis outplays him in camp, then you see what you have in Travis. Worst case scenario, he struggles, and then you line yourself up for a potential top pick in 2026.
The other thing, too, is if you hire a new coach, you're hiring an offensive coordinator that wants to implement his offense.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is very limited. Rodgers is a very limited guy with a certain scheme he wants to do.
Yep.
So now you're going to cater your scheme to a player that's going to be here one more year and then do what? Change it all for your next guy? I mean, don't you think? Like, it just there's so many reasons why Rodgers coming back next year makes no sense when you're rebuilding. Like, you want to have a new coach, new coordinator, your offense, find a quarterback that fits your offense, and move on. And it's not going to be Aaron Rodgers. It's not.
No, because he's going to want to cater it to what he does best.
Yeah,
you know,
he can only do so much. He can't move. He can only make certain throws. Doesn't like certain things.
Yeah, and I saw you tweet this out this week too, Tyson, and I agreed with it. Like, about having a backup quarterback here, and like they've signed Tyrod here as the backup. Rodgers all banged up, and they're not even going to use Tyrod. Earlier in the year, when Rodgers was banged up before this season completely went off the rails, they could have shut Rodgers down for like 2 weeks. They've got a backup now. Now they won't use him.
That's the reason why we got him. Like,
exactly.
Literally, the reason why you got Tyrod was an insurance plan for Aaron Rodgers if he got banged up. And Rodgers, but see, I have a problem. Well, there's two things. The first thing is the Jets' leadership and management and coaching wouldn't bench him when they knew he was hindered and not playing to his best. Second thing is Rodgers as a player be like, you know what? I'm not giving us our best chance to win. Let me sit out a couple of weeks. Let me get healthy. I trust Tyrod to give us this. Let's just stay relevant while I'm rehabbing. Like, it's two levels, but they're never going to bench him. And he didn't. To me, and this could be, I could be completely wrong. I don't know. I just think he's so consumed with his rehab and coming off healthy off of last year that he doesn't want to get hurt again now. Like, oh, see what? You came back too fast last year. It bit you in the ass this year. You're old. You're washed. Like, he's trying to avoid that stigma, but it's already there. We already know it's there.
Yeah. No, yeah. You can go.
Quick question for you. Because you mentioned that no coach would come here. If by chance, God willing, they give some choice, 5 guys to real quality GM candidates, well-respected candidates, and they pick the right one. Mm-hmm. Do you think that a good quality coach would then come to this team?
Yes.
Yeah, with the right
question
GM.
Was to him.
But you say if they hire Agnew or they hire Dorsey,
would respected in the league,
a head coach would come to work with him?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, if they go that route, I don't know the whole Rex thing. I don't know how many guys would want to work with Rex. So that could be iffy, but like, I don't think a Dorsey Rex pairing would probably happen, but I could see like Dorsey or Agnew and Vrabel working or something like that. Yeah. Dorsey's experienced, and I think that's what the Jets need. Or even like a Gruden. Yeah. I mean, I think a good general manager that at least has experience with a winning organization or previous experience. Yeah, I agree. I think it could definitely, especially Dorsey, because he's got actual experience. It's not like just assistant GM with Agnew.
But it's got to be. But I think the selling points can be like, you're going to get a general manager like that. He's going to get at least a 6-year contract.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to get Dorsey, like 6 years, big time money, full say, and the guy he hires is going to get 6 years, big money. Like, what he's got to spend to overcome the stench, man. That's just the way it has to be now.
And I do wonder with the whole Ray Agnew thing, and maybe I'm reading into it too much, but I do wonder if he would want Ben Johnson to come with him. That could be interesting.
Why would Ben Johnson want to come here?
No, I'm not saying here. I'm just saying, like, if Agnew want to go to a place where Ben Johnson would also want to go, where they could just pair up like they were in Detroit. They
100%.
already know each other. I don't think Ben Johnson's coming here. I'm just saying that could
No.
rule out Agnew if he wants that.
Well, because these top candidates they're gonna have their choice of jobs. So it's like, what's the first thing you look for? Good stability, good owner, good quarterback. What do the Jets offer out of any of those? None of them.
No.
Yeah, and it's not he's going to want a team that's already waiting for him to come in and take over, right?
Yeah.
Not to rebuild. So like you said, it's going to be the best available team that's ready to win.
I mean, Johnson can go right to go to Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence done.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You mold like that.
I like Ben Johnson a lot, but this is not the place for. They can't go. And I like Aaron Glenn a lot. The history, of course, with him playing here. Well-respected guy, great defensive coordinator, but I have a hard time going down, especially the last two times with Bowles, and two of the last three hires have been Bowles and Sal, like first-time defensive coordinators. We've seen this before. I don't know if I can go down the Aaron Glenn route, and I like Brian Flores a lot. I think he's got a heck of a chip on his shoulder, especially coming in the division the way it went down in Miami. Like, I like that aspect of it, having a chip on your shoulder against a division rival.
But he's also a hard ass too, which I like.
Yeah.
But I think we have to not worry about the head coach now. We need to pick the GM first, because that's going to determine who's coming here.
But I think we're establishing the characteristics of what we want to hire. It's going to be experienced, established.
Oh yeah.
Like, you can't be like the first time general manager who's going to die. Like, there's just no way.
You saw what Saleh started to. They eat. The media eats away at them. It's a gradual, like, by the end here, he was shot. He was done.
Well, the thing, even with Joe Douglas. So Joe Douglas was a very highly touted, reputable guy in theory as an executive, like an evaluator, like that. But he didn't have, he never did it before. So when things started to crack, he got eaten alive, made mistakes, did this. He didn't have a resume to say, listen, I've been there, done that already. I know what I'm doing. He didn't know what he's doing. He's trying to figure it out. And when he watched his head coach hire a completely inexperienced staff for a rookie quarterback, that was already a disaster right off the bat. Mistakes.
Yeah, 100%.
My biggest fear is they're gonna have five guys. Four of them are gonna be highly touted GMs that had a history. The fifth guy is going to be an assistant head of player personnel, and they hire him because he's going to be the cheapest option. That's my biggest fear.
I literally think the only way the Jets can get their guy, they have to offer long-term contracts and a ton of money. That's the only way to get somebody here now. They have to. Because you take a chance, like similar to almost like what Matt Rule got going down to Carolina. Like, you got to listen, if you're going to commit to me, I want a long contract. If you fire me in 4 years, I'm going to get paid for 4 more years, $10 million a year. I'm not going to care.
Yeah. And I totally agree. There is part of me that's like, we're going to talk about Vrabel. They're going to interview Vrabel. They're going to interview Gruden. They're going to interview Flores, and they're going to hire some no-name defensive or no-name offensive coordinator. And
let's see if they come first.
Why it's going to work.
Yep. Let's see if they come first.
That's what I want to see.
Sure.
The interesting thing for me is I'm with you, Afram, where it's like, I'm curious to see what guys turned down the interview. Remember, Dan Quinn didn't want to interview here. Matt Campbell never interviewed here. There are certain coaches that couldn't even come in the building. Like, no, we're good, man. We appreciate it, but we're out.
Especially Variable with the Belichick connection. That worries me.
Flores has it too, man.
Yeah, Flores. They all do.
We're screwed.
I might have missed it earlier in the show, but what's your gut tell you if you had to predict who's the coach GM or just one or the other? You have a specific feeling?
I'm waiting to see who gets fired first, because I think Woody Johnson needs. Maybe I'm just foolish. I think he knows he needs to swing big, so I'm curious to see who may become available. At the end of the season. The GM, I have no idea, dude. I'm not. And the other thing is the Aaron Rodgers thing too. Like, that's got to be decided soon. Like, I don't want to be end the season because tomorrow he's going to address it. No, I want to play next year. All this stuff. It's like, all right, you say this now. You got 6 more games.
What he did in Green Bay.
But as long as he walks away, that helps. He comes back. I want to be here. Nobody wants to inherit all these headaches, man.
No.
Is there a rule to Tannenbaum and Spielman to go and talk to candidates to say, hey, would you like to come for an interview as a GM after the season?
Not if they're employed.
So that's got to wait till the end of the season or fired. Mm-hmm. Or they have to ask permission of the team.
Yeah. I mean, I think, they're not going to get shit now.
Yeah, or you could go.
Yeah, good.
No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I forget the the exact rule. I think for coaches, I know if they're on, like, for example, if they wanted to hire like Aaron Glenn, or if they wanted to interview Glenn, let's say, or Ben Johnson, like if they were to go to like the NFC title game, I think they can interview them, but I don't think they can hire them until, is it after the Super Bowl or whatever is over, if they're on the playoff team still in it, I believe, right?
And the interview times are real limited too. It's like in between like certain weeks, and it's a pain in the ass.
Well, I'm talking more of the GM, president of football operation.
I think
those front office guys, can they talk to them now?
I don't think so, man.
No, I think it's the end. Or the playoffs. I think they can.
I think it's the end of the league year, end of the season. I think once your team's eliminated, your open season. If you're unemployed, you can. But I think you're under contract. You can't do it till the season's over.
Yeah, they could. Well, Vrabel's actually with the Browns. He's like the consultant, I think. But so he's not unemployed. I would say they could talk to Vrabel soon. But no, Vrabel once their season's over, which will be, they won't make the playoffs, so that'll be soon. But
which makes you think that Stefanski's gone and this guy comes right in.
He could. That's what I was thinking.
It is true.
There's no reason for him to be.
But he's going to be a highly touted candidate, though, too, man. He's going to get a lot of options.
He is. I don't know. There's just a weird feeling we're going to end. I have a weird feeling we're going to see Rex back. I mean, if Rex puts on a fat suit, I'd be more on board with it. Fat Rex was prime Rex.
So desperate for this job, it's almost embarrassing at this point.
Yeah, it is.
It's like his last chance to coach in the NFL. This is what it is. It's literally his last chance because nobody else wants him.
Yeah.
He's auditioning to Woody and hoping that Woody hires him before he hires a GM, because the GM is not going to hire him.
He's trying to use the emotions of the fans to get on the side to rally support for him. So as the season plays out and he keeps himself relevant. And some fans are buying into it. I'm getting messages all day long. Bro, you're stupid. You don't get it. I'm like, no, I do get it. I know what Rex is. We've seen it already.
Yeah. I'm not totally anti-Rex, but he's got to – the coordinators is the biggest thing. Like, his offensive coordinator can't be some no-name. It's got to be –
we need to rebuild the offense. We haven't had an NFL offense in a decade. Rex Ryan's not known for rebuilding offenses and making them good. Like, literally rebuilding it.
Yeah. No.
Well, have a good night, man.
Yeah, you too, guys. Have a good one.
Later. All right. So, thoughts on releasing Rodgers and a new GM reach out to the Jags for Trevor Lawrence? Seeing the success of Darnold Smith in new environments makes you feel the right coach can turn him around. I think his cap number is prohibitive. They can't even trade him. Like, the cap is like enormous, I think, for Trevor Lawrence if you move him.
They re-signed him and gave him a big contract.
Yeah, I think I would do that in a heartbeat, but I don't think it's possible though.
Why would you get rid of him?
Number 1 pick in the draft. Shedeur Sanders. I don't think Shedeur Sanders wants to go to Jacksonville either. He'd be like, yeah, I'm out.
For what purpose this is? You just need to trade that pick and get some more picks and build your team with some.
They have the blueprint for a very quick turnaround. You have Trevor Lawrence and you have number 1 pick. Like you said, you trade down. You could do all kinds of stuff, and you could expedite your whole process there.
Exactly. I don't get it. You needed that the coaching wasn't good because they had a solid team. You know, I don't know.
All right, Eric, what's up, man?
Hey guys, how are you?
How are you, Eric?
You know,
sorry we're all in the darkness still.
Hey, wait, you're matching Afram with the pictures behind you.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah.
Look at this, Afram. You're innovative. You're setting trends, Afram.
That's
right.
My wife sets the trends. I just put it.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you in the United States?
Well, no, I'm on lunch right now. I'm getting ready to in about an hour to go head over to my sleep study because I've been snoring super loud, and my doctor's like, yeah, it sounds like sleep apnea. So I'm gonna so I gotta go stay at the hospital. Yeah. Yep. So I'll have like all these like wires and stuff. Yeah. Man, this season sucks, and I'm really I don't know where the fuck we're gonna go. I am really worried about our team being put together. Like the article, there was a lot of like wish-washy stuff, especially with the Tony Adams bench. But like the whole Bryce Huff thing, it's like, what player wants to go if they're playing good, and the owner is like unwilling to like pay for the extension? You know, like it's like little things like that. Firing our GM, no stability. It's just like such a shit show. It's a clown show, honestly. Like
it is.
And our players are just not playing good. And honestly, for me, if Mike Vrabel was available, I would throw the bag at him because I just want to coach. I want a good coach. I don't give a fuck whether he had a Bill Belichick connection or anything. Just get someone who's a hard ass that can set the tone of the team. That's really what they need. They need discipline. It's just a bunch of, misbehaved children. Some are better than others, but they need to have structure. That's how you build a winning team. a winning culture, and we haven't had that. So it's just,
dude. I think the thing with Vrabel is just that Belichick is the kind of guy where he has his like disciples and guys that are in his little clique, and if he hates the Jets, they kind of follow suit. He'll be like, listen, if Vrabel says, "Hey man, should I coach the Jets?" He'd be like, "Hell no, don't do that." I'd take Vrabel in a heartbeat. I mean, I'm sure Afram would too. Like these guys, I just think if all the jobs available when you rank the Jets amongst everybody else, they're not going to be like top 4 or top 5.
yeah, for sure, definitely. Yeah, dude, it's just crazy. Like when we have Tyrod Taylor, it's like a lot of good points being brought up multiple times. It's like we signed him. It wasn't just to make the team look pretty. It was like a contingency plan for Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yep.
After the Bronco game and I think it was the Vikings game where they like landed on top of him and he looked like he was seriously injured. That should have been the time to bring him in.
Yep.
And yet it's either him or the coaches are truly that like just inept and retarded. Sorry for the language, but like, what was the point of us having Tyrod? That's the reason why we had a backup. Last season, you know, we always said we needed a quality backup. We didn't have that. Then you have him, and then you're not playing him. And it's like the season wasn't dead, you know, and you could have salvaged it, you know, kept us at least like win 2 games out of 4, keep us relevant. And then they just didn't do that. And why? Because Aaron Rodgers is worried about his legacy?
Look at the Dolphins. The Dolphins are what, 5-6 now? They're still in the hunt. All you had to do is win a couple games. Like just stay in the mix. The Rodgers comes back, he gets healthy. But I think it's just that maybe he didn't the actual benching of Rodgers was probably a lot harder. Like, you know, I'm good, man. I'll get through it. Like it could be like a pissing contest where that's where I wonder where Woody Johnson comes in, where maybe it's not like he wanted to bench him. Maybe he's like, listen, we can't bench him. Like you never know. There's 2 sides to every story. That's why the athletic story is convenient because everybody hates the Jets right now. So we want to dump on Woody Johnson, say they suck. I believe this. I believe that. There could be a lot of opposite out there too. So we don't know. Right. But benching Rodgers it may not be as easy as everybody says it is.
Yeah. The thing is, he's just getting pounded, and that's the problem. He's just getting pounded, sacked. It takes a toll, and you could see he's got happy feet there. He wants to get rid of the ball real quick so he doesn't get hit. And someone's got to make that executive decision and let him just sit for a game or 2.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
or tell him you ain't playing until you get scanned and take some X-rays and see what's wrong with you. And it's not just good for the team, but it's also good for you. You don't want to keep, you don't want to be permanently hit where it's going to affect your quality of life for the rest of your life.
Yep,
for sure. Definitely.
You know, we're not doing anything here. Nothing, you know, where our odds of winning anything at this point is very slim. So, you know, let the young guys play and move forward. But
and then to answer this question, the question is, if Vrabel were to come to the Jets, do you all believe who do you believe would be the GM, assuming he bring his own guy? Well, the reverse should happen. You bring in the GM, and the GM says, you know what, I got ties to Vrabel. He hires Vrabel. You don't want to do the opposite. We've already done that where you hire the coach and the GM. You got to be in sync here, man.
No, you got to get the president, and then you get the GM. Like I want everything. Everything needs to be up to par with just how the NFL is.
Everybody on the same page. Yep.
Because it's bad. And you know, we say Woody needs to be on social media. I would also say Aaron Rodgers needs to just detune himself from anything that's being said about him.
He don't care, dude. Tomorrow's gonna be his day.
It's just like, you remember that one press conference where he was like, "We need to tune out you guys." It's like
he's part of the
problem.
Remember
that? It's like, do you gotta like tune him out too as well? Like everybody needs to be off of it. Our players need to just stop worrying about what other people have to say and worried about all these titles that they have. You know, the All Pros and everything like that. It's like you guys said, we haven't proven shit. It's great that you have all these things, but what have you really done with your career? You haven't done anything outside of a 7-10 season. You know,
it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse now because nobody's gonna hold them accountable. You have an interim GM and an interim head coach, so nobody cares at all.
Yeah.
Everybody right now is counting down to the last day of the season so they can go somewhere else. So you're not going to see an ounce of accountability or discipline anywhere. Yeah. Why? Like they're gonna be like, dude, I'm benched, good. I won't get hurt. I can play somewhere else next year. Like you're gonna see decisions like crazy now. We're like, yeah, man, I'm good. Well, you want to bench me? I'm fine with that. I'm all about next year now.
I don't want to run it back either. I mean, honestly, you look at the team now, it's like you have a couple of good building blocks, but it's like all the chips being put in with all these Hall of Fame players, and I bought into the hype. I did. And it's just like you hoped it was going to pay off, and it didn't. Like what you got McDonald, Jermaine, which we don't even know how Jermaine's going to be because what the Achilles is usually like a death sentence injury for pass rushers, right?
Yep.
You got Olu, you got Tittman, you got Allen, which is good. So if Brees is going to leave, like you got that. But like Brees is just such a cool player because he could just do so much. He's really dynamic. You got Garrett, and you got the Quincy brothers. That's really all you got. Everything else is just like Kinlaw's a joke.
I mean,
Clemens
Jaden Sherwood's come on a little bit, dude.
He's good. I mean, I have hope. I mean, he'll be definitely like a pretty good death piece for sure. Like he's definitely played really well, but it's like you don't really have any leaders, and then you have all these people you brought in that are on 1 year like deals, and they're out of here. So it's like
you need a legitimate face in the franchise that conveys your team's message and holds that team accountable. Mm-hmm. And to me, Salah's message was always wrong, where it was like, I want to make you play. I want to make you guys money. I'm not here to inspire anybody. They were complacent. They accepted losing. They justified losing. And that was the culture. You need a guy that changes that and demands. Like Rodgers tried to talk the part, like, no, we have this standard. Mosley talked about the standard. Everybody talked about this standard, but nobody held anybody to it. And they never played to it. And that was the problem.
And that standard has to come from your head coach.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the head coach has to motivate that one guy he thinks that's going to be the leader of the team and push him to motivate these guys on the field. And they didn't have that. And as good as the talent you have on the field, you have to have the same amount of talent as in your coaching staff as well. And that's what we don't have.
Yep. We need a leader. We need a mentor. We need someone who's blunt, straight to the point. That's what these people need. They're getting paid a lot of money, but they need that structure, you know?
Completely.
When it talks about rebuilding too, I'm cool with like trading Sauce. Get us a couple picks, man. Like just jumpstart, see if you can get something, you know, if he's not performing good.
Or just giving what I want to see is that the general manager has full say to do whatever he thinks is best, which it may piss the fans off. He may come in and say, you know what? I'm trading Garrett Wilson. I can get X. You know what? If this is what your vision is, fine. The last thing I want to see is a guy that has handcuffs on. Like, no, can't do this, can't do that, can't do this. Then it's not a true rebuild.
Yeah.
Right? Like, after you think, like, at some point, if this is the guy you hire and you trust, this is it. Do what you think is best.
You got to do a Bill Parcells, and you cut the guy you least expect to be cut.
100%.
And you send a message out. Nobody's job is guaranteed.
I remember when he got rid of Hugh Douglas. I was pissed.
Yeah, I was pissed too because he had good years. He had good years with Philadelphia.
Sure did.
I think you said on the last week's thing, Tyson, where you have like a head coach, GM, just go inside the locker room and like who wants to stay here and who wants to go, and just get them out. I don't want toxic personalities and all this other shit. And then this, the head coach, Rex Ryan's cool, but like I don't want to live in the past. Like that was a great point. You know, I want to build towards the future. And he had his legacy. We had 2 back-to-back AFC championships teams. And after that, like once he really took reign, it was like the team fell apart, you know, like.
But you literally mute the players, say, this is my vision, either in or you're out. I want full, you're fully committed to it. And if you're not, that's great. We appreciate you. We'll find a way to get you out of here. That's literally what Parcells did. And they had, but even like over the years when they had certain defenses, the Jets got rid of Jonathan Vilma. You're not a good fit. Boom. Sorry. Demario Davis, not a good fit. You're gone. Like they made crazy moves. That's just the way it works.
Yeah. Last thing too, someone had brought up a point. There's a Jets fan that I also work with too, one of the Marines, and he's like, man, I really want to sell the team. And I like thought about it and it's great, but I'm like, man, it would be just our luck if we had a new owner who was just as stupid as Woody, if not worse. So it's like almost like we're kind of stuck with the poison we have. And it's like, he needs to just take like some notes and kind of go the direction of how the Knicks owner went, where he just stay out of the way and just let the football people just do their job. That's what they're there for, you know.
He's never going to sell the team, man, because they are worth billions. Like for what he invested, what he's gonna make now, it's just within number like 5 or 6 in the NFL, like in terms of value or some shit. It's ridiculous. He's never selling it, dude.
What's interesting, you have Woody, who inherited his money from his father and has done nothing. He has never had a real job, and you have what's his name and MS that owns the Knicks and the Rangers, Dolan, who also got his money from his father, who ran the cable company, and they both just inherit. You know, they're just trust fund kids, and they basically doing the same thing until at least Dolan realized what he's doing is not working. So hopefully, but Dolan's younger. Woody's is older and he's probably set in his ways, and that's the thing you got to worry about.
Yeah, that's for sure. I want us to have a quiet season, a quiet off season. I don't want us to win the. I just want some normality. You know, like
I just want to be respected, have credibility, have a direction, have a plan you can believe in. We always got to sell ourselves into something. I just want to actually believe in something for once.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. But
Happy
hey,
Thanksgiving, man.
hey, happy Thanksgiving. You guys be safe. Thanks for everything you do. I
You
know
too.
it's definitely a chore having to watch those games, but it's funny. I was watching the Colts game. I kind of fell asleep after you guys were melting down. And I think I was kind of in like that half sleep mode where you're like kind of hallucinating. And I just thought, like Kevin said, oh, we won, like over something stupid happening. And then I woke up and I'm like, oh, we actually won. And then we lost. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
So,
Never ends. Have a good night, man.
yeah, man.
Take care, Rick.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Love you guys. Bye.
Same here.
You too, man. Yeah. So it's rough times right now, Afram. It is not
Yeah.
easy. Doing streams is not easy. Like I'm already dreading Sunday. The Seattle's gonna whoop our ass.
It is.
It's gonna be miserable. And know what's even worse is that Seattle's gonna beat our ass. That sucks. Geno Smith's gonna do it. That sucks. Our next caller is actually a Seattle fan who's gonna rub it in our face. And we can't even make like stupid bets because we're gonna lose. Like we're not gonna win.
Is it our friend Jose?
What's up, man?
What's up, Jose?
But
Look at that smile.
Tyson,
What's up, man?
before we start, I would like to give you credit
Uh-oh.
because the last time we talked, I was actually negative on the Seattle.
I told you.
And now,
You gotta believe.
and now the Seahawks are in first place in the NFC.
And Geno's playing incredible.
And now he's throwing stupid interceptions.
Yeah, but he's making some big time throws, man.
Yes, he is.
See now, Afram, see what I do? I help my friend when he's ready to give up on his team. Meanwhile, as a Jet fan, I was jealous of his team. I'm like, please don't give up, Jose. And look at him now.
You're
He's
right.
back in the mix. They're
Exactly.
gonna win on Sunday.
You're right. Thank you.
It's how you end, how you finish.
Unfortunately, I will not get to watch the game live. I'll be hungover because Saturday, my cousin and her partner were supposed to have a big show, but last Thursday, something interesting happened.
Uh-oh.
The baby decided to show a baby.
Oh, there you go. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
I am now an uncle again.
Look at you, man. Making moves over there.
Oh, actually,
Uh-oh.
the party is where Nick and Nate Diaz are from.
Oh, no shit.
Stockton, California.
That's right.
Yes.
So what's your score prediction for Sunday?
I'm gonna say 24-13 Seahawks.
That's about right.
Yeah,
It's gonna be more.
I say Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. I say Aaron Rodgers throws at least two interceptions.
Oh. Why are you doing this to me? Can't you just say 24-13 and like not insult us? Like I mean, man.
Hey, Tyson,
Yes.
any good UFC fights?
Dude, you see the fights? The last what was it? The Peter Yan fight last Saturday morning was incredible. Yan and Figueroa was awesome. Yan looked great.
I was sick all week.
Yeah, it was last Saturday. It was like on like the main event was on like 8:30 in the morning. It was a phenomenal fight.
That's 5:30 my time.
Yeah,
When
man.
is
Hey,
this next fight with I keep seeing the commercial Oliveira and
that already happened. Oliveira and Chandler already happened.
oh, okay.
He beat Chandler. Yeah, that was a John Jones card. John Jones won too.
Yes. Thank
The
you.
next, actually, you know what, Jose? To be honest, with you, December 7th is a really good card. The prelims are wild. Like Chris Weidman's on it, Clay Guida's on it. They have like, I think it's December 7th. The wild, like really good card.
I'm gonna have to order that.
Yep.
That's a Saturday.
Yep.
How come you don't cook Thursday, do you?
Do I what?
You cook
You
on
don't-
Thursday?
Do I cook? I don't cook for anything.
Guys,
That's why I got married. I'm just joking.
Oh, damn! I can't say shit like that.
uh,
Happy Thanksgiving, Jose.
Happy Thanksgiving. I actually do make the turkey. So
guys, I love you. I love you. Safe thing.
you as well. You too.
Good luck on Sunday, man. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.
Love you,
Good
love you,
night,
man.
Jose.
Yeah, he's gonna be in his glory when the Seahawks.
I don't blame him.
Yeah,
Good for him.
All the trash we talk to him, we deserve it. I mean, it's
Happy Thanksgiving, Armand.
What's the score of the game right now, by the way? Ravens, Chargers.
Let me see. Was it
17-13 Ravens? I think it is.
Let's see. Let me put it on there.
Good game. The Harbaugh brothers. Yeah, it is 17-13. I'd take either one of these guys as our coach. We could have had both of them, but of course not.
Yeah. Were you surprised with the Chiefs and the Panthers?
Yeah, the trap game. But what's his face is playing better. Bryce Young's playing better, man.
Yeah.
He's coming along. Must be nice to have a young quarterback to kind of build around and try to figure out, right?
That Dallas game was wild.
That's crazy.
Johnny boy.
Well, thank you guys all for joining us. I know it's not easy during these difficult times. It's a holiday week. Jets suck. They didn't even play this weekend, so we appreciate it. Afram, thank you for filling in as prime time is changing his schedule a little bit. Do you want to give a score prediction? Come on, give us something here. Score prediction for Sunday.
30-10. Seahawks.
Is it a game? Is it a game at halftime, or is the game over at halftime?
I think it's going to be more or less the same as the Arizona game.
Oh,
I get a feeling.
those?
Yeah, I do believe so.
Man, I can't take another one of those.
Yeah,
like a 24-3 at halftime kind of game. Oh
yeah,
bro.
I just don't see them stopping the run. I don't see them. And you got a running quarterback, so now it's. Do you really think that they're going to be able to stop this team?
No. I don't think they're going to show up. I think after you fire Douglas, come by, I think these guys, they've all quit. Nobody's showing up. You're going to get half-ass efforts. Nobody cares.
I don't think they get 14 points. I think it's a field goal and a touchdown if they're lucky.
Yep.
There's no cohesion there.
We may do something at halftime to keep everybody just whatever interested.
Johnny boy. I don't know. You got more optimism than I do because I really don't see it.
I don't see it either. Thank you guys for joining us. We will talk to you all on Sunday. Have a great Thanksgiving. Don't drink and drive. And have a good night.